which offers an exclusive look inside one of the world's most iconic sports and entertainment venues. Expert guides will lead small groups through spaces that have hosted legendary sports championships, world-renowned concerts, and epic awards. Guests will also explore the VIP areas and experience the arena's latest renovations. Visit crypto.com/arena/tours for more info.
Harry Douglas here. We all know breakfast is an important part of your day, but when you're traveling for work and your hotel doesn't offer any, you're forced to make do with peanuts and an energy bar as you sprint off to your shift. But if you book a room at La Quinta by Wyndham, you can enjoy their free Bright Side breakfast, featuring delicious baked goods, fruit, eggs, yogurt, and waffles. We refuse to let you go to work hungry, and I mean refuse, and aim to send you off fueled up. Tonight La Quinta, tomorrow you shine. Book direct at lq.com.
Whether you're building a single roof or a successful roofing business, roofing contractors like you need the right tools for the job, and software is no exception. Service Titan is on a mission to be the most powerful software platform for the trades, with purpose-built technology proven to maximize revenue, streamline operations, and deliver 5-star customer experiences. We are taking roofing companies like yours to the next level and beyond. Service Titan, we are built for this. See what we can do for roofers at servicetitan.com.
Good afternoon.
What's happening, people? Mason in Ireland. Beto Durant is in for. We never get to do shows here. We do a lot of Laker shows together. But we never get to do Mason in Ireland shows, so this is a good day.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of yours. You know that. And it's always fun working on your show.
Okay, so let's start here. Laura's here. Brian's here. Beto's in for Mace. Let's pick up where we left off with Trav and DeMarco. Michael last week, when he heard that Tyrese Haliburton had a strained calf, immediately went on the air and said, should not play. Yeah. That equals torn Achilles. He said, I've seen it happen to Clay. I've seen it happen to Kevin Durant. I've seen it happen to Damian Lillard. I've seen it happen too many times. Strained calf, if you play, leads to torn Achilles. Haliburton heard all that, and he said, it's too important. It's the NBA Finals. I have to play. Beto, does Haliburton and the Pacers deserve to be criticized for playing when he knew he had a torn calf?
It's just one of those where you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you play, great. If you don't play, they're going to get on you because it's the game 7 of this. If this would have happened in the first round, I could see him, hey, let me shut it down. Maybe in a couple weeks we can get better, rest, whatever it is. But it's game 7, John. Like, how many opportunities you're going to have to play in the NBA Finals, especially if you're a team like Indiana, to get where you're at. And there's no, like, we had Dr. Clapper on, like, last week with Sedano and Cap, and Dr. Clapper was talking about you need rest, you need rest, you need rest. And that's the only way you can handle this. I know where Mike was coming from, and I know where everybody's going to come and say, no, you can't play because you're worried about yourself. That's where the selfish people are going to come on and say, he's only worried about himself, he's not worried about the team, they wouldn't, whatever. At the end of the day, though, you playing for the championship, and I told this to Cap, whatever it is, you're going to have to make sure I can't walk before I don't play in a game 7. That's just the competitor that you have in you. How many times have you gone into the backyard when you're a little kid, game 7, game on the line, all that stuff, and it was there, and you feel bad. As soon as it happened, you had the, oh, no. You feel bad for him because how hard he's been playing, like the overrated chance they had for him, what happened through the offseason for him. It's like you feel gutted for him, but you have to give it a go.
This is how much I think the Pacers and Tyrese Haliburton should be criticized for letting him play yesterday. 0.
Yeah.
None. You're 100% right. I don't care that he tore his Achilles. I don't care that he's out for the year.
No.
I think if you put him on truth serum, he would say if there was a 15% chance. And he hit his first 3 threes.
He was hot right away.
Yeah,
he was hot.
I mean, it looked like he was going to be a factor in the game. And I you know what? Bobby Ross, the old football coach, used to come on with Mason and
Chargers?
I. Yeah.
Okay.
When Mason and I, that's how old Mason and I. We go back to the 90s. So Bobby Ross would come on every week, and we would have, and like we do with McVay now, and we'd have conversations with, Ross is a great guy. And we'd have conversations, and he'd go, look, let me stop you guys right there. Let me tell you something. You can't protect against sports injury. He goes, I've seen guys get hurt non-contact in practice and be out for the year.
Yeah.
He goes, you just never know. Now, medical people would come back at us and say, well, in this case, you did know. He had a strained calf. We know strained calves lead to Achilles. This was medical malpractice. But this is sports. And you can't blame the Pacers, and you can't blame Tyrese. They're like,
has there been a lot of blame out there?
Social media was killing Michael and I for even suggesting that he sit out. And this is why we suggested it, because we knew, like, even now, if you knew the consequences, if you say to the Pacers, hey, Game 7, Haliburton's going to come out, he's going to hit his first 3 threes, but there's a 50% chance he's going to tear his Achilles, which would sideline him not only for Game 7, but for all of next year. Would you still let him play? And Beto, a weird voice in my head says, yeah, I think I would.
Because right now, with technology and the way the players have come back, we've seen a lot of them come back, right? It's a year, you're out because you need to heal, but it's not a career-ending injury.
Like it used to be,
like
right?
If it was like your career's done, if this happens to you, different story. But you're going to get the surgery, and I know it sounds like we're being flippant. We're not. It's just you get the surgery, you move on, you go forward. But what are the chances that he's ever back there again? What are the odds that Indiana, who took care of Boston, Cleveland, New York, all the good teams to get there, can do that again with this run? I mean, go back to the Dan Marino, right? Goes to the Super Bowl, and he's like, I thought it was going to be easy. Never win again. We saw him hurt. I think it was Game 5 when he pulled up, and he was hurt. And I think after the game, he even said, if I can walk, I'm going to play. And without him, they're not in a Game 7. You have to give it a go. You feel bad for him. And then seeing him in the tunnel afterwards on the crutches, waiting for his teammates, that's that leader that he is for that team. I mean, we were both there the night Kobe popped his. Like the way that he looked dejected going on the golf cart, going to his car. It was terrible.
Right. It's the worst. But that's sports. You're not nobody's moving the Game 7. All right.
Yeah.
The year Toronto won the title, Clay and KD both went down with Achilles injuries. And it's just part of sports, and it sucks. And I know everybody's saying, how could they do that to him? How could they do it to Haliburton? If it was me, if I was Tyrese Haliburton, I would have insisted on playing. So I'm not criticizing anybody for that today.
And at the end of the day, isn't he the one who has the final voice? He has to be.
Well, you got to protect players against themselves. Yeah. But in this case, even if I was Rick Carlisle or Kevin Pritchard or anybody running the Pacers, I'd say, you know what? This is our one shot at the title. The last time the Indiana Pacers were in the finals was in 2000 against the Lakers, 25 years ago. Who knows when they're going to be back?
You don't.
I can't rip them. I mean, I know a lot of people are today saying, how could they put him out there? Because it's Game 7, because it's sports, and because he would have insisted on it.
And they had a couple of days break from Game 6 to Game 7 to where he's at. Now, if this would have...
He looked great in the beginning.
On fire. If you had him on Prize Picks, you were looking, heck yeah, this guy's going to be out of control. But also with Haliburton, Michael's probably going at this from when Byron Scott popped his hamstring, with Pat Riley took him to Santa Barbara and worked him out hard. It wasn't like he got hurt in practices or in between game sessions. He was looking good, and it sucked to see, and you feel bad for him because everything is going on. But, man, it was still a good game. It was still a good game, and OKC, congratulations to them.
Yeah, and they're good, and they're going to be loaded with picks coming up. For the next several years. And it's not the greatest thing in the world for me because if you were going to make a list of the cities I least like going to, OKC would probably be number 30.
Oh, we've heard.
Yeah, I mean, there's just nothing to do there.
I know, we've heard. The small markets, John doesn't want to be there, and I don't blame you because I'd never want to go back to OKC. I haven't been to a game in that building, but I've been to OKC a couple of times.
They've earned it.
And I've walked by that haunted hotel, and I've always said, no chance I'm walking in there. Because I've heard all your stories from that lady that scares you.
Yeah, but now you have to respect them because they built a really good program that's going to be there. And I think a lot of I'm not necessarily saying they're going to go on a title run, but I think that the West is going to go through OKC for a few years just because they're going to have a say in everything.
Absolutely.
And every time a player gets traded, their phone's going to ring because they have all the picks.
All the picks. Sam Presti continues to do magic with nothing really that's given to him. Imagine if he had the big payroll that he could work with. It's basically Andrew Friedman when he was in Tampa Bay.
That's why a lot of people are speculating. I wonder if one of the big market teams is going to come after Sam, and I wonder if he'll go.
Why hasn't it happened before?
Well, those people, the Lakers have a GM, the Warriors have a GM, the Knicks have a GM.
No, those teams that are big market, but they haven't been good, like the Knicks for a while.
Right.
Why didn't they go after him earlier?
Because they're the Knicks, and they always do things that make little sense.
I should have known that answer.
So we'll see. We'll see what all comes out of it. By the way, almost as an afterthought before the game yesterday, Kevin Durant was traded in a massive trade to the Rockets, which we'll get into next. But first, let me tell you about ZipRecruiter. If you are hiring, it can now take up to 11 weeks to hire for an open job. Nobody's got 11 weeks. Use ZipRecruiter. Go to this website. You can use it for free. ZipRecruiter.com/LA. Ian Siegel, the guy who invented ZipRecruiter, puts it this way. They don't leave anything to chance. They have an algorithm that matches your job to the people whose skills are best suited for your opening. So, in a lot of cases, you get a quality candidate right away. ZipRecruiter can help you hire 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So what are you waiting for? Go to that website, ZipRecruiter.com/LA, ZipRecruiter.com/LA. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Beto Duran in for Mace. I'm John Ireland. Mason and Ireland, ESPN LA.
A Michelob Ultra Reaction Monday.
The first title of the OKC era is complete. One of the youngest rosters in recent memory has just completed one of the finest seasons in NBA history.
On 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app, plus on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles, we are reacting to the Oklahoma City Thunder's win in 7 games over the Indiana Pacers. Thanks to Michelob Ultra, a refreshing and balanced flavor with only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Please enjoy responsibly.
Keep it right here for the very best coverage of the 2025 NBA Draft. All your ESPN LA Draft coverage is driven by your SoCal Hyundai dealers. There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. Visit your SoCal Hyundai dealer today. This is an ad by BetterHelp.
With over 35,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Talk it out with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month of therapy at BetterHelp.com/timeout. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout.
Welcome to Big Tobacco's Fantasyland, the industry's idea of a healthier tomorrow, where vapes are deemed safer. Never mind, they can contain cancer-causing arsenic and lead. And they're anti-aging, because you're more likely to die younger from a stroke. In Big Tobacco's Fantasyland, the deadliest industry can rebrand itself as your friend.
Knows when you own a boat or RV, it's like you're automatically on vacation, even if you're actually a marriage counselor in the middle of couples therapy. But in your mind, you're camping in Acadia, puttering around Frenchman Bay. Your boat and RV are both protected. You're lobster drenched in butter and... Uh-oh, did your clients just notice you weren't listening? Quick, do the thing where you just repeat back exactly what they said, but as a question. They bought it. Now back to Maine, earning an automatic discount bundling your boat or RV with your home or auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
You're checking out the Waba Grill Lunch Hour here on Mason and Ireland.
Sup, people?
Why do they grill to order at Waba Grill? Because it's just better for you. Their Asian-inspired menu has high-quality proteins, fresh steamed vegetables, and signature sauces. Download the Waba Rewards app today or order online at wabagrill.com. Waba Grill, it's for you. Just like Mason and Ireland are for you.
Tell me if I'm weird here. Don't answer that question.
You're weird.
I knew that was coming.
The Waba Grill Lunch Hour rolls on right now.
I was lightning before the thunder.
Mason and Ireland, Beto Duran in for Mace. Brian, what is this? What am I listening to?
Imagine Dragons Thunder in honor of Thunder winning.
There you go. Oh, very timely. So before the game yesterday, it leaked out that Kevin Durant had been traded. We knew he was going to get traded. We did not know where. Now, I told you guys, I don't know if you listened to me, but there was no way he wasn't getting traded to one of the teams on his list. Mm-hmm. He successfully killed the Minnesota talk. He, and the Wolves made a good offer to try and get him in there. He said, I only want to go to San Antonio, Houston, or Miami. Mm-hmm. Miami made an offer, wasn't any good. And then we got the offer from Houston. And Beto, I'm stunned. This is, in my opinion, a massive overpay by the Rockets. Massive. Here's what they sent to Phoenix for Kevin Durant. Jalen Green, who's a potential all-star guard. Dylan Brooks, who's elite defensively and brings a great toughness to any teams he's on. The 10th pick in the draft, which starts Wednesday, and 5 second-round picks for a 37-year-old. I think Houston way overpaid here. What do you think?
So, initially when you see this, and you saw where he was at when he got traded, right?
Yeah, he was at a Fanatics
convention, talking about things. Like, he knew he was getting traded. This is the worst. He knew he even had his goodbyes ready to go to the Phoenix Suns fans. When you see the amount of things going out, like, wait a minute. He's 37. He's KD.
Might only play 1 year.
But does he really change you that much? Yes. One of my favorite players to watch and one of the favorite players I've ever covered. Fantastic dude. Always been great to me. But damn, I'm a big Jalen Green fan, but he's still raw and still green for him. He's still learning. He's not going to lead you to a title, which is good for Phoenix, but could he be one that's gone? Dylan Brooks, I can see that you moving. But that 10th pick, did they have to include that one?
And the 5 second-round picks?
Now, if you're, what's his name, Matt Ishbia?
Matt Ishbia is the owner of the Suns.
Now, he has gone for it and thrown a bunch of money at it, and he's a young dude in his 40s. Now he's realizing we need to have stockpile. We need to do what Utah's done. We need to do what OKC's done. He has a new GM. He has a new coach, everything else. Good for Phoenix taking this back. So you go and you start looking at the different experts, right? They run the NBA. Okay, is this an oversell? Is it an undersell? And it's kind of down the middle, John, where some people on your side were saying they gave up too much. Others are, it's equal. And when it's around that consensus, it's somewhere in the middle, right? Where it's you can see both sides, but how is it that nobody's really coming out and say everybody consensus this is too much or this isn't enough? Like the Laker one-sided all the way. They got away with a lot of stuff.
Right. Here's something that would indicate I'm wrong. After the trade, the Rockets now have the second best NBA title odds in the league, behind only OKC. The Rockets moved from 12-1 to about 8-1, and now they have the second best odds. They're followed by the Knicks, Pacers, and Cavs. So it's Thunder, Rockets, Knicks, Pacers, Cavs.
And Vegas always knows something, right? They're always on the dot.
So that's a clear indicator. And now Phoenix is talking about they're going to either trade or release Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
So they're just going through a rebuild.
Because Beal, $100 million contract, $111 million they gave him.
Yeah,
right?
he has a no trade, so they might have to release him.
He has the no trade kicker also?
Yeah.
Of course he would. That's big. Phoenix realized that what they had wasn't working and it was an implode. They were trying to get rid of Beal last year, but that contract is just too big. If you release it, damn. Bradley Beal goes from that guy to that guy.
And now that Durant has been traded, I think what you're going to see, the draft is this week. The draft's in Brooklyn on Wednesday and Thursday night. It's a 2-night event, going to be televised. Big deal about the draft. I think you're going to see more trades this year than normal because the free agent class isn't very good. The free agents are all expected to re-sign. Like the best free agent available in this free agent class is LeBron. Yeah. And everybody knows he's not going anywhere. So nobody's going to be able to sign these big-name free agents to make an impact. So the only way to improve your team is to do what Houston did yesterday and make a trade. And because of that environment, Beto, you have to pay more. And so you're going to see some overpays. You're going to see a lot of movement. I think you're going to see a lot of trades in the next 3 to 5 days.
But doesn't Phoenix kind of get redundant, though? If you have Booker and you have Jalen Green, like, will they work together?
Who's the point guard?
Right?
Yeah. They're both shooting guards.
And then Green, was he 22 now? Kid out of Fresno. I remember watching him in the G League. Okay, he's there. He took a big leap this year. Big fan of him and the way that he's performing. But Phoenix isn't going to be the team right now. We're like, oh, my, watch out for the Suns. No, they're building for the future. And Booker's been there for a while. He wants to win eventually, right? They're spending money. But the game plan is get as much picks as you can, and then you want to disperse them in future trades. I am surprised that 10th pick went. That 10th pick can be something. Even though it's not a big, heavy draft class.
And they say it's kind of top 8 heavy.
It is.
After the 8th pick, everybody's just kind of.
But still, it's still a lottery pick. And I know you're always been one of those, trade it, let's go, right?
Yeah,
you don't hold on to those.
I don't like picks. Yeah.
But you're okay. But then you're saying they gave away too many.
Well, the reason I don't like picks is because half of them don't hit.
Yeah.
So I'd be one that would trade a lot of my picks. I'd be Les Snead. I would
F them picks.
Yeah, I would trade them all.
Like second-round picks or whatever. It doesn't really matter. But 5 of them?
Right. The reason the 10th round, if the Kamenetskis were here, and they both, Brian and Andy, believe strongly in hanging on to your picks, and the reason they do is because, not because they disagree with me that you miss on half of them, they admit that, but they say what picks are currency. Mm-hmm. They're chips that you can play in the big game, and they're right about that. Yeah. So they could flip that 10th pick to somebody else if they have something else in mind. I think they're going to keep it because they need to get younger, but I think my sense was Houston gave up way too much.
On paper, it looks like a lot. And then, okay, how many of those second-round picks actually become something, right? And also, which years are they going to be? It's more of the chips that you're going to have that you're going to use for future trades, future moves that you're going to have, or things that you can add to.
And most second-round picks, to your point, don't make it. Yeah. But Jalen Brunson, second-round pick. Yeah. Draymond Green, second-round pick. Isaiah Thomas, last pick in the draft. Austin Reeves, undrafted. So you need mechanisms by which to the more shots at the dartboard you have, the more likely you'll hit. And they just picked up 5 more shots at the dartboard.
This is what smaller market teams do, right? They need to have these kind of commodities to trade and move around. If you're a bigger team with a bigger payroll, you're going to go and say, F them picks. You can have that because you're going to be able to attract certain players. Houston with KD, and you keep Sengun, who this year you were praising him every single time.
And you keep Jabari Smith, who's really good.
Yes.
And then, you still have Fred VanVleet.
Who's the other kid, Thompson?
Amen Thompson.
Amen Thompson.
They love him.
Because this year, whenever the Lakers would play Houston, you and Michael would talk about Sengun and Amen Thompson in the beginning of the season, some. And then halfway through the season, every game, the scouting report was, watch out for Sengun, watch out for Amen Thompson, and they kept those 2 players.
This is where I'll give the Rockets credit for. I still think they gave up too much, but they did not get rid of Jabari Smith, and they did not get rid of Amen Thompson, who are the 2 guys I would have hung on to by hook or by crook. So maybe I'm wrong, and the Rockets just put themselves into title contention. We'll see. Durant gets hurt a lot, though.
He's not going to play 82 games for you. He'll give you 60-something.
All right, coming up next, Laura will spin the wheel of questions, and then there's something going on at the Dodger games, and I've had it. I'm sick of it. I don't want – I'm just done watching it, done seeing it. I think it's stupid, and you'll be surprised who agrees with me. Laura, you got something to read?
Sure. It's a Michelob Ultra Reaction Monday. The Oklahoma City Thunder are the 2025 NBA champs. We're talking about it all day long on 710 ESPN, thanks to Michelob Ultra, a refreshing and balanced flavor with only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Please enjoy responsibly.
Mason in Ireland, Beto in for Mace. Back after this, ESPN LA.
And reaction today on ESPN, NBA Today, a post-Game 7 edition hosted by our very own George Shinato. Be sure to watch Shinato starting at noon on ESPN and, of course, on ESPN+. And then hear George's reaction today at 3 o'clock. Sedano and Cap on 710 ESPN and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. We are ranked number 18 in the nation and number 1 in Orange County for orthopedic and spine care by U.S. News & World Report. From the surf to the green, our world-class doctors are there, which is why more Californians choose Hoag Orthopedic Institute for orthopedic and spine care more than any other hospital. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there is no one better at getting you back to you. Proudly founded by premier physicians in partnership with Hoag. Learn more at HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com.
Don't navigate the legal system alone. Hey, it's Travis. At the personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand, they will fight tirelessly to get you the max compensation you deserve. Joe and his team understand the emotional and financial toll that an injury can take on you and your life. Call 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand have helped thousands of people like you recover millions of dollars in settlements and verdicts. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. Your recovery is their priority.
Find what you love and love what you find. A Total Wine and More, the place to go for sipping rosés with seltzers on ice, making margaritas with your favorite tequilas. It's warm out, let's go. Our prices are low on spirits, beer, and wine. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. B21.
Level up your summer projects with 4th of July savings on top brand cordless power tools from the Home Depot. Whether you're working on a fence, a planter box, or a new workbench, get the power and runtime you need with the Ryobi One Plus 18-volt 2 toolkit from the Home Depot for only $99, was $139. Get 4th of July savings on the cordless power you need to make summer projects easier than ever. Right now at the Home Depot.
And it is the biggest show on the radio, Mason and Ireland, here each weekday. You know what it's time for? What is this? It's time for Wheel of Questions. Producer Brian Cohen, are you ready with that wheel? Hit it, Jack.
That's a dumbass question.
You know what? It might be. I don't know.
You're gonna regret this.
Probably. All right, guys. So I saw Joe Taylor was on the Joe Budden Network and said...
Who is Joe Taylor?
Who's he play for?
No. It's the...
Joy Taylor or Joe Taylor?
What did I say?
Joe Taylor.
Sorry, Joy.
Okay.
Joy.
Oh, Joy.
Joy Taylor.
Joy
Yeah, we
Taylor.
like Joy. Yeah, go ahead.
Joey Taylor. Sorry. I'm like, what did I say? She had an interesting quote that I know Ireland would have a lot of thoughts on. She said, we would not be talking about Caitlin Clark the way that we do if it wasn't for that moment, and she was talking about in college, with Angel Reese. So my question to you guys is women's sports finally benefiting from the villain versus hero dynamic like sports, men's sports do?
Well, the rivalry is not Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Angel Reese isn't good enough.
Me bounds. What are you talking about, John?
Yeah, me bounds are stupid. That means she's just getting her own misses and putting them back up and in.
Have you seen some of the videos of
trademarked, by the way,
of her missing shot after shot from like
by
an
the way,
away?
I asked Greg Bergman to come in because we're going to talk about the Dodgers in a second. Hi, Greg.
Hi.
To me, guys, I think Caitlin Clark's rivals are going to be more like other all-stars. I think her rivals are going to be Kelsey Plum and Sabrina Ionescu and Asia Wilson and those people. I don't think Angel Reese can hold up her end of the deal, Beto. What do you think?
I right there agree with you, John. Like, the thing with Caitlin Clark is she's a baller, right? You go after her because she's going to be usually the best one on the court.
She's Steph.
So the rivalries are from other players trying to step up and stop her, trying to compete with her. The Angel Reese thing, I mean, that was cool during college, but I forgot that they even had that. It's more of, what are you doing right now as a professional? And you can see Caitlin continues to separate herself from everybody.
Yeah, I do like the fact of that hero villainness of
Oh,
all
we
of
need that.
By the way,
Yeah,
I do like the fact of that. I think Angel Reese actually is a villain in all of this as well.
If you accept your villain role.
Yeah, if you accept, which I think she
she
kind of
has,
does.
yeah.
Yeah, but she's just not good enough.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a good rebounder and she plays defense, but
But Dylan Brooks is a villain, but he's
Right.
not good enough
He's not
to
an
be
all-star.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's the same kind of thing. But so there is a villain in that league now, which I think is a good thing for the WNBA.
Yeah, villainesque.
Yes.
All right, let me get to this other thing, and that's why I asked Greg to come in, because I'm just sick of it. And I, at first it was kind of a funny little novelty thing, but this, and Beto and Greg both go to a ton of Dodger games, and so do Brian and Laura, but for that matter. This bringing position players in to pitch, this Kike Hernandez comes in to pitch the last inning and throw the ball 40 miles an hour, doesn't make any sense to me. And I thought, I mean, they brought him in, Greg, 3 times last week, 3 times. And I thought it was just me. And I went down the rabbit hole. And here's John Smoltz. John Smoltz is a Hall of Famer who is Joe Davis's partner on Fox's #1 broadcast team. He was asked about it on a podcast, and Smoltz is with me. Listen to this.
I think it's the most embarrassing thing, anything you can do in sport, with the reality of all the smart people thinking pitching, bullpenning. And we've had more position players pitch in baseball games than ever before. And what does that tell you? And it's the most embarrassing thing I think there is. I think every once in a while you can say it's cute, the fans kind of get on it. But when we're having it at this alarming rate, I think baseball needs to do something about it. I know they've made a rule and when you can use that person. But you know what? At some point, people keep talking about, well, let's just have a mercy rule. What are we doing? I don't know. I just don't think the penalty's good enough. I think it's just embarrassing. And that's why I won't change my thought on that. Why don't we have pitchers in a blowout game go up and hit instead of the hitters? Like, people would get all over that. They would be like, this is ridiculous. And I can't think of another sport. Even in the NBA, there's blowouts. You lose by 40, but it's not like they're bringing people in off the stands to finish out the game. So that part's always bothered me, and I know that I'll catch flack for that, but I just think it's embarrassing.
I think he's 100% right, Beto. I'm sick of seeing Kike pitch. He's throwing up like grapefruits. He's not getting anybody out. In the last two instances, they had to get a pitcher up anyway to come in and get the last out because Kike couldn't do it. I'm not criticizing Kike personally. I know they're asking him to go in there. But this position player pitching crap, end it. It's stupid.
He got one out, gave up 4 runs, and walked 3. I know it's the 9th inning, Sunday. Most people are gone already. But what happens if a team does get that rally, they're coming back? And Alex Vesia thought he was done for the day. Now, hey, Alex, you got to get hot, and you got to get hot quick. What if Vesia hurts himself trying to get ready in the bullpen because you have a position player in there?
Yeah, Greg, has this come up on the Blue Review? Because I think it is the stupidest thing out there. I'm so lockstep with Smoltz on this.
I hate seeing it.
So I'm not so lockstep with Smoltz. He says a lot of weird, interesting things in that quote. But yes, we talked about it on the Blue Review this morning. I'm done with Kike himself pitching because he's doing it in weird ways. Like at first it was just a novelty. He was messing around. He was wearing the hat. He was just throwing little curveballs. And then he got one strike where he threw like 85 miles an hour. And now he thinks he's a pitcher, like a full-on pitcher. It's nonsense. I don't want to see it anymore. I don't want to see Kike anymore. I understand the reasoning behind the position player pitching, especially with all the Dodgers especially. We talk about their bullpen being overtaxed. In a 9-run game, do you want to see Alex Vesia out there? No, probably not. I don't want to, but I do not want to see them anymore.
But they're pitchers for a reason. Like,
right.
You should have arms there.
Amen.
Smoltz says in there, he goes, "Oh, would you see a pitcher pinch hit? They've done that before. That has
very rarely.
It's rare, but in big moments like that, like when you're up by 9, if Clayton Kershaw came out to hit who liked hitting it, like sure,
okay, whatever,
do it, yeah, whatever, exactly."
Laura, are you okay with Kike coming into pitch, or are you with me?
I think he's entertaining, and
not anymore.
No, it was cute once, twice.
I mean, it's going to keep happening. So whether we like it or not, you're going to get
not
used
if they
to seeing
outlaw
it.
it. Brian, where are you on this?
I was more of a fan of Miguel Rojas pitching when he'd actually
he is.
intimidating because a little more fun to watch. I don't like the fact that Kike now has become the go-to guy every time. If it was a little change-up, it'd be a different.
The novelty's gone.
If you're getting smoked, if you're losing by 10, I understand that. You save your arms because we're losing. We're not coming back. You're winning. Just win the game.
Well, so let me, Eric Karros, who, by the way, let me say something about Karros. I'm not just saying this because I'm friends with him. Karros is great on TV.
Yeah.
Just really
He's
good.
been so good, at least this last week. He doesn't
Yeah.
care what
Right.
he says.
I
love it
which
so
is awesome.
much.
Yeah.
If he wanted to work full-time, he'd be great, but he doesn't want to.
Yeah, so
I don't
Beto,
blame
he
him.
had the opposite opinion of you. He said if you're getting beat, you got to wear it. You got yourself into that situation. You should not be able to bail yourself out by putting like Greg said, I understand the thinking behind it. You don't want to burn arms. But and Greg's heard me give this speech a million times. Sports is entertainment. Period. And the reason we pay top dollar for tickets, the reason we pay for 19 different streaming services, the reason I have to get Apple TV and Fox Sports and 19 other streaming services so I can watch all the games is because it's entertainment. That isn't entertaining.
So
it's a bad movie. We know how it ends. Keep Kike off the stupid pitcher's mound.
So at that point, when they first started doing it, it was supposed to be entertainment, to your point, John. It was entertainment for Kike to go out there. It was entertainment for Miguel Rojas to pretend like he's Yamamoto and Kershaw and doing all those things. But when you do it multiple times games in a week, and Kike is going out there and he already has like 5 or 6 appearances as a pitcher, that's too many. It's no longer being entertaining. It's just you're blowing a team out or you're being blown out.
That 15 ERA for Kike.
Are you guys okay if he does it like once a week?
No.
Once
it's too
a
many.
week?
He's done.
I don't even want to see him
done.
play that often.
You know what baseball has been good at, and Greg, I know you guys talk about this a lot on your show. What baseball has been good at is they're not afraid to change the rules. Over the past 2 to 3 years, they've implemented tons of rule changes. Everybody said, put a runner on second base in extra innings. No one's ever going to do that, and they did it.
I like it.
Yeah. Everybody said
not in the playoffs, but
you can't make the bases bigger. And they did it anyway. You can't deaden the ball. They did it anyway. You can't make a reliever stay in for 3 batters. They did it, and now the game moves better because of all those changes. Just starting next year, come right out and say, pitch. You designate before the game 13 people who can pitch, and one of those guys has to pitch. That's it. I don't want Kike. I don't want Rojas. I don't want any position player pitching. And it's a tired act. It's a bad movie.
Well, just think about it just for the Dodgers, because they're the only team in the world that has this right now. Shohei Ohtani is not one of those 13 players. He would be the 14th player. He is a position player so he would not be allowed to pitch then.
No, well, what you could do is allow for every team to have 3 dual designations for people that like.
Sure, if you make that designation, sure. Otherwise, Shohei is not allowed.
There's ways to legislate that.
Yeah.
This idea
for one guy.
Well, there's the Ohtani rule.
The guy, though. It's the guy.
The Ohtani DH rule, the Ohtani pitching rule. There's Ohtani rules for everything. We love that.
Right,
but you have the Kike don't pitch rule.
Yeah. It just, to me, if you're at Dodger Stadium and it's 13-1. And you just bring somebody in and get the game over with.
You're probably not there if it's 13-1. You're probably gone.
There were a lot of people still hanging around.
I don't like when Kike comes in the middle of the innings. Like, he's been doing that where it's like, come on, guys. Like 6th inning, 7th inning here?
Yeah, he came into the 6th inning because they were up by, I think they were either up or down by 8. I forget which one. But he came in the 6th inning and finished out the game. Like, we don't need to see 2.5 innings of Kike. That's too much.
Before people start saying, well, the Dodgers don't have any pitchers right now. They don't have a starting. We get that. We get that. But just figure something out. You have enough arms in your organization to have an arm.
And to John's point earlier, it didn't even matter because Alex Vesia had to come out there still. And that happened in the time before that, too, where he gave up a whole bunch of runs.
Yeah, Bonda had to come in.
Yeah, Bonda had to come in to close it out.
He's
so
not
what's
a
the
pitcher.
Point? Right.
Like he's throwing BP.
Yeah, no, it's nonsense. Throwing these curveballs that are 45 miles an hour.
By the way, every year, Andrew Friedman has tweaked at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is he going to do that again?
Always.
Probably. Yeah.
What's number 1 on his wish list?
Arms.
It's always going to be arms.
More
you never
pitchers?
have enough arms. But if Blake Snell and Glasnow and everybody is healthy come the trade deadline, it might not be as big. But I know that they're talking to guys like Sandy Alcantara. Is that how you say it?
Alcantara.
Alcantara. I get yelled at when I say it wrong, so I just want to make
Just
sure I'm
say
saying
Sandy.
it right. Sandy, yeah. So like
Sandy.
they're going to get somebody big because they always do, and they want to have the most arms that they possibly have. And everybody's going to tweet out, how much help do you need? All of it. You need all the help.
Okay, the other thing I wanted to mention is, did you see that the voting came out again today for baseball, and the Dodgers are and this is why, Greg, you were making the argument, and Mason was making the argument that Andy Pages could be an all-star.
Yeah, he just doesn't have – there's too many people.
There's too many. Here's the problem. The new way of doing baseball voting is the top 2 vote getters basically go into a runoff, all right? So here's the top 2. Catchers, Will Smith, 1. All right. First baseman, Freddie Freeman, 1. Second baseman, Tommy Edman, 2. Behind only Ketel Marte. Third baseman, Max Muncy, 2. Right, only behind Manny Machado.
After that grand slam, why not?
He's been on fire.
Shortstop, Mookie Betts, 2. Behind Francisco Lindor. Designated hitter, Shohei, 1. Outfielder, Teoscar is 2. And in the outfield, the top 6 go into a runoff. Yeah. Pages is 7.
Yeah. Well, read the names that are the 6 because who are you jumping? Juan Soto? That's not happening.
People love Pete Crow Armstrong. He's going to get the most votes.
He has one of the most votes
then
total.
Teo, then Kyle Tucker, then Ronald Acuna, Juan Soto, and Corbin Carroll.
Yeah.
All good players.
Yeah. Who is Andy Pages jumping in that list?
He's going to get in via the players who sit out via injury.
Who is?
Pages. He'll get one of those added late on to the season.
Okay, what's more likely, though? What do you guys think? Okay? You've got an open spot because of that, because of what you're describing, Beto. You give it to Pages, or knowing that it's probably Clayton Kershaw's last year, do you do what they always do at the All-Star game and give him the honorary trip to the game so people can say goodbye? They did it with Cal Ripken.
They did, but Cal said it was his last year, right? Kershaw hasn't said it's
But
his
don't
last
we all
year.
think it is?
I mean, probably.
It should be.
I give it to Pages. Pages has done everything you've asked him to and more. He's one of the best outfielders out there right now.
Would you
He's
give it
been
to
on
Pages?
fire.
Okay, would you give it to Pages if Will Smith, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Max Muncy, and Shohei
jeez.
are
No,
all starting along with Teo?
This is the reason that Andrew Friedman did all this.
There's,
by the way.
there's enough Dodger fatigue right now.
Right,
Like,
that's what I'm worried about.
way
You got to
too
draw a
much.
line somewhere.
Too bad Pages has been so good offensively and defensively.
All right.
He deserves it.
Coming up next, sports graffiti. You can talk about this.
All right, boys, have a good show.
Why, you don't like sports graffiti?
He hates calls.
No, I don't.
No,
like
you hate calls. What are
No,
you talking
I
about?
like good calls.
I don't like the sports graffiti calls because sometimes they're stagnant, sometimes they're just boring. Every now and then you get a good one, but they don't outweigh how good you and Mason are.
All right, so
That's me
let's
kissing up right
see. Let's see.
Bring it, people.
If you guys are
They
going to
won't.
force Beto to walk out of the studio.
Oh, please.
877-710-ESPN. 877-710-3776. Sports graffiti next, ESPN LA.
A Michelob Ultra Reaction Monday.
The first title of the OKC era is complete. One of the youngest rosters in recent memory has just completed one of the finest seasons in NBA history.
On 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app, plus on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles, we are reacting to the Oklahoma City Thunder's win in 7 games over the Indiana Pacers. Thanks to Michelob Ultra, a refreshing and balanced flavor with only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Please enjoy responsibly.
Listen all week to Sedano and Cap for your chance to win a pair of VIP tickets to the biggest pro wrestling convention this Saturday, June 28th at Hilton LAX. Listen for the cue to call and be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN. Win 2 tickets with the VIP access to LAX Fan Fest plus 1 autograph by Ahmad Johnson. Listen to Sedano and Cap for your chance to win or visit fanfestlax.com for tickets.
Hey, DeMarco Farr here. Join the club at Pechanga Resort Casino. New club members who sign up receive a $25 resort credit as well as a chance to win $100 in bonus credit. Enjoy perks like earning club dollars with every bet, invitations to exclusive promotions and events, and much, much more. Visit the club at Pechanga to sign up and start receiving benefits right away. Your perfect entertainment resort and casino combination is available at Pechanga. Voted the best Southern California casino.
Your next Subaru is waiting for you at Subaru of Glendale. Check this out. Lease a new 2025 Subaru Crosstrek Sport CVT for just $279 a month plus tax for 36 months. One at this payment. VIN S3723202. MSRP $32,189. $33.99 due at signing. Call 888-855-6434 or check out SubaruofGlendale.net. On approved Tier 1 credit through Subaru Motors Finance. No security deposit. 10,000 miles a year. Model code SRD-21.
Is it time to downsize? Selling your home doesn't have to be a hassle. With Seller's Advantage, skip agents, commissions, and costly repairs. Get a fair, competitive cash offer without worrying about the details falling through. Chris Chavez, a real customer, says, quote, Seller's Advantage offered me more than I expected. The process was fast, easy, and much better than using a realtor. End quote. Call 888-390-AS-IS or visit sellersadvantage.com for your free cash offer.
DRE number 01961658.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
Hey Rams fans, it's your quarterback Matthew Stafford here. Join me for Walk United LA at the Rose Bowl Stadium on July 20th. Participants can walk or run to support fire recovery efforts and our most vulnerable LA communities. Learn more at walkunitedla.org. See you there.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
710 ESPN.
KSPN, Los Angeles.
A good karma brands radio station.
And it is 1 o'clock in the Southland on the biggest show on the radio, Mason and Ireland. And it's time for Let's Talk About It on Sports Graffiti like we do every day at this time. Sponsored by our friends at BetterHelp. Mental health is health. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout today for 10% off your first month of therapy. BetterHelp.com/timeout. Now let's do it. Let's talk about it on Sports Graffiti on Mason and Ireland.
All right, here we go. Sports Graffiti. We do this every day at 1 o'clock. You can talk about anything you want. We just call your name, and we don't screen the calls. We just say, bring it. Brandon, you're hitting lead off. You're on Sports Graffiti. Go, Brandon.
Good afternoon. A lot of pressure with the leadoff. Beto, this is for you and John, but mainly for you, Beto. I just got to give you love, man. I appreciate how much you talk about the local athletes that we got in the big leagues. No matter what sport, you know so much about it. So I got a question. First one, do you know the biggest baseball player to come out of Aliso Niguel High School?
Aliso Niguel? No, I don't, because I'm not too familiar with South Orange County. What do you got?
Skip Schumacher. That's the biggest name we got.
Skip.
But, the current manager of the Braves.
That's right. That's
Former
right.
Dodgers,
And then,
Skip Schumacher.
Main one is just, what are your thoughts, Ron Washington? I know a little health scare. You think he's going to be, sticking around, or what do you think?
It's too early to tell.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brandon,
That's
for the phone
an interesting
call.
thing down there.
He's taking a medical leave of absence, and I hope he's okay. He's watching games from a suite.
Yeah. So if you're taking a leave, why are you in the suite?
Yeah, we probably need more information before we do it.
Don't want to speculate.
Let's go to Ken. Hey, Ken, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go ahead.
First off, John, I follow you. Carmen Del Mar.
Yep.
Well, this is Ken
But
Newport
that
Beach?
was the thing that you said today that I was jumping up and down with excitement because I wrote a complete thing after yesterday's game saying, what are they trying to do? It's embarrassing to the fans. It's embarrassing to the players who work to hit home runs instead of somebody pitching batting practice. And it's just a matter of time till somebody gets hit with a line drive because you've got somebody think he's playing wiffle ball. Roberts has got to stop it because it's an embarrassment. And I almost wish when they're ahead 7 runs, the other team comes back and wins to teach them a lesson.
So, Ken, I don't have to sell you, but I think it's I'm with Smoltz. I think it's the dumbest thing right now in baseball that we let position players pitch. Good for you. I'm glad you're with me on that. Henry, you're on Sports Graffiti. Henry, what do you got?
Mason and Beto, or Ireland and Beto.
Close enough. Close enough, Henry. What do you got?
Wanted to give a shout out to OKC for holding the court last night. They withstood and played defense and played some good basketball. They held off a fine team from Indiana, and they had all the shots go down for them last night. I just want to congratulate them, and heck, I'm just hoping that we can say, let's go Lakers. Let's get something going.
Well, hopefully this week we'll get some news, Beto. I can't imagine they're going to do nothing. They don't have a first-round pick, but maybe they make a deal or two. I think within the next 2 weeks we're going to get some roster info about
There's
the
going to be a
Lakers.
lot of movement pretty soon.
Yeah, here's Job. Hey, Job, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go.
Johnny I, you and Meso, Beto, an apology.
For?
2 or 3 years ago, you guys started the Sports Graffiti, and you took one call that day, and you let Beto screen the caller and pick the caller, and he picked me. And you guys gave him a bunch of crap
How do you
and
like
said
that?
What a bad call.
So, Job, you're the guy who ruined Beto's life?
And then, after that, 3 years later, you're still playing a clip from that call.
I made you a legend.
That one.
You are welcome because of me.
I like it, Job. Thank you. Created greatness. Here's Walrus.
That's what I do.
Hey, Walrus, you're on Sports Graffiti. What do you got?
Good afternoon, y'all. 2 thoughts to share. First, the mistake that Coach Carlisle and the Pacers made was putting Haliburton in actions where he would be pushing off of his heel. He should have been a roaming shooter and a help defender, and he should have only played a couple minutes at a time if they were going to have him play in that game.
But Walrus,
So
isn't
that's
that
what I think they did wrong.
Isn't that almost impossible? If you put a guy out on the floor and then tell him not to push off on his heel, I mean, you're kind of inviting chaos, aren't you?
Perhaps, but think about it, John. He was kind of doing that at the beginning of the game when he hit those 3 out of 4 threes. So I hear you, though. A guy's going to play, right? And the second thought I had to share was, look, guys, I don't care what it takes. Giannis Antetokounmpo needs to become a Los Angeles Laker for this next basketball season. I know the numbers don't shake out and all of that, but you know what? LeBron recruited AD. He could recruit Giannis, and if Giannis wants to come here, Mark Walter is going to figure out a way to make that happen. You all have a great day.
All right, see ya. I don't think I personally, Beto, don't think Giannis is getting traded. I don't know anything. I could be wrong, but
That's interesting.
I don't think he hasn't asked for it.
Yeah.
He's going to Greece at the end of this month in a week, and he's taking all the Milwaukee owners with him.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I think that I think this Giannis is 100% out has been exaggerated. Here's Oscar. Oscar, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go.
Fellas, Beto, my boy, what's up, man?
What's happening?
Quick, I want to ask the debate of the Magic and Kobe greatest Nick at the Lakers just celebrate 50th anniversary of the 2010 championship. Kobe Bryant's the only Laker team that ever beat the Celtics in a Game 7. Jerry West, Baylor never did it. Magic, Kareem Worthy never did it. That's why I put him as the greatest Laker of all time. So I just want to add to the debate on that. What you guys think about that one?
Hey, Oscar, so you said it's a debate in your mind between Magic and Kobe?
Yes.
Why isn't Kareem in that discussion?
Because he wasn't his whole career. He wasn't a Laker. If he was the whole career, yeah, but he wasn't not his whole career.
So you would okay. So Worthy could be in there. He was a Laker for Laker. Yeah. I obviously grew up watching Magic, Beto.
Yeah.
And the
Still Magic for me.
The reason I would put Magic slightly ahead of Kobe, 9 finals in 10 years. 9 in 10
Magic
years.
for me.
Kobe went to 7.
Yep.
But Magic, I mean, go to 9 finals. And he not only he did whatever he needed. Scoring, assists, rebounds. Kobe was an unparalleled scorer.
Yeah.
And
you can't go wrong with either one.
Yeah, you can't go
but
wrong with either.
Magic
But
for me, though.
I would tilt it towards Magic. It really depends on what age you are.
Yeah, it's a nostalgia factor.
Yeah.
For me, elementary, Showtime Lakers, it's just
And you're
Magic.
right. There's not a wrong answer
No.
to it at all. Here's Mike. Hey, Mike, you're on Sports Graffiti. What do you got?
Two things. The only thing more embarrassing than a position player pitching is the reason for the position player. I'm not too bothered by that. It's just, if you're down by 10, I think all entertainment's gone anyways. It's just kind of getting to the end of the game. That's the whole point. Wish there was like a mercy rule so we didn't have to sit through that, but, it is what it is.
Yeah, I just think you get rid of it. I think it's stupid. And I don't care if another position player ever pitches in a major league game. Here's Harold. Harold, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go.
How you doing, Beto? Hey,
Harold, North Hollywood.
Nice to. Yes, this is me. You got it. I know. I'm one of your best callers ever.
No, you are. You're a good caller.
He calls the postgame show, right?
For donating $1 million to the immigrant families. $1 million is like $100. How cheap can you be?
Oh, wait a minute. Harold. You're seriously going to criticize the Dodgers for donating money?
No, not at all.
You're calling
you
them
just
cheap.
did. You called
that
them
was
cheap.
A wonderful gift.
You just called them cheap. How much money did you give? Yeah, that's a ridiculous call.
Here, I'll say this to you, Harold. I know the Dodgers got a lot of flack. A lot of organizations catch a lot of flack for their silence during this. But at least the Dodgers are putting money out there. You can always issue an empty statement, but you speak with your wallet. And yeah, it might not be much because they're the Guggenheim. They're worth $330 billion, but they're doing something.
Yeah, I never get that argument that you criticize somebody for not doing more. When they're doing something.
That's a stickier subject because they've been quiet. But then again, a lot of the organizations, anyways.
Yeah,
they're doing something.
Yeah,
finally.
And most organizations are doing nothing. I find criticizing the Dodgers for that specifically is ridiculous.
There's a lot of celebrities that are issuing statements from their PR teams that mean nothing.
And a lot of them didn't even write it. The PR team just wrote it for them. Here's Patrick. Hey, Patrick, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go ahead.
Well, I'm with you guys. If you're a position player, stay off the mound unless, and I say unless, you have aspirations of being a closer, because when Troy Percival came to the Angels, he was a catcher, and then his way ticket was to be a closer, and he perfected the art, and we saw what he did. So I understand when an outfielder can throw, from outfield to home plate on one shot, but you get a position player who's an outfielder who came and throw to home plate. That's ridiculous. So, yeah, let's stop this.
All right, thanks, Patrick, for the phone call.
And Percival was doing it in the minors. He was a converted catcher, a la Kelly Jansen.
I'm trying to I was trying to think of the other one.
It's not like
Kenley
he was learning
Jansen
in the
started
majors.
as a catcher.
Yeah.
Here's Jerry. Hey, Jerry, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go for it.
Hey, guys, I got a couple of questions here. So the Lakers were estimated at $7 billion, but yet they sold for $10 billion for only 33% of the team. But over the years, the legacy of the Lakers, which era of the Lakers do you believe had the most impact on making them a worldwide brand? would you think it was the Magic Johnson era with Showtime or the Lakers Shaq era?
No, it's Showtime because they're the ones that finally broke through. You know, the Lakers in the 60s were in the finals all the time against the Celtics. They just never beat them.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Dr. Buss bought the team in 1979, they started winning immediately. And it was Magic, Kareem, and Worthy that went to the finals 9 times in that 11-year run. And in 85, Beto, they broke through. They beat the Celtics.
The baby hook.
So if you go back to the 80s, the Lakers won the title in 80, in 82, in 85, in 87, in 88. But they were also in the finals in 83, 84, 89. I mean, you could not get to the finals without going through the Lakers. They're the team that put the Lakers on the map, and that was Dr. Buss's entrance into public life. You know, he'd been hugely successful private, but when he came on the scene in 1979 and the Showtime Lakers took off, there's your brand.
That was the generation that built, and that generation had kids who are now raising more Laker fans in the generation. But the 80s ones were special because you only knew that the Lakers and the Celtics were the only teams that played in June. Everybody else's season ended in April.
Right. And the finals were unbelievable. The 84 finals went 7. The 85 finals went 6. It was
88 was the one. Now, Pat Riley, the guaranteeing the three-peat.
I mean, just basketball at its zenith in the 80s in L.A. All right, last one. Leo, you're on Sports Graffiti, Leo. What do you got?
Hi, John. I have a possible solution for tanking in NBA.
Okay, what is it?
Why don't they get rid of the tournaments that they have in the middle of the year, and have the bottom 8 or 10 teams play a 2-on-2 for that pot. You have 2-on-2 teams, and you could work out however it would be played. And instead of this tanking at the end, you'd have a good competition. Maybe it's already been thought of, but that's my idea.
All right, Leo. The only thing I don't like about it is, what if you want? So the winner of this 2-on-2 tournament would get the number 1 pick.
I think that's what he was trying to say. Like, you got to earn.
Okay. The problem with that is, I think teams would try and gerrymander that to try and get into the 2-on-2 tournament and win it. And that way, how do you? There's a few holes in your theory. I don't hate it, but there's a few holes in your theory. The main one being, how do you get the really bad teams to be good again if they're not good enough to win, either on the court in the regular season or in the 2-on-2 tournament?
So let's watch really bad basketball.
Right. Yeah, that's why
we
I don't
saw
think
them
it would
all
work.
season long be bad. Let's watch them play another bad team. Yeah, okay.
Okay. So, Beto, I love Zach Lowe. He's just moved from the Ringer, from ESPN to the Ringer. He is advocating a change in the NBA Finals, which I think is a really bad idea. And I'm normally lockstep.
He's good. He's really good with what he does.
But I'll share his idea with you. We're kicking around next. Better Durant in for Mace. I'm John Ireland. Mason and Ireland, ESPN LA.
We told you it was going to be the biggest offseason in Lakers history.
Genie's still going to run the team, and this is massive.
New ownership, the draft, free agency, summer league, and the tip-off of the season with the King and Luka. Every moment of coverage of the Lakers offseason on 710. Powered by Pro Baller. Pro Baller, the official energy drink of the Los Angeles Lakers. And your home of Lakers basketball in the Southland is 710 ESPN.
Be sure to catch Let's Talk About It on Sports Graffiti, weekday afternoons at 1 p.m. on Mason and Ireland. Sponsored by BetterHelp. Mental health is health. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout today for 10% off your first month of therapy. BetterHelp.com/timeout.
Located in the heart of downtown Los Angeles, Crypto.com Arena is pulling back the curtain and unveiling new behind-the-scenes VIP tours presented by Delta Airlines, which offers an exclusive look inside one of the world's most iconic sports and entertainment venues. Expert guides will lead small groups through spaces that have hosted legendary sports championships, world-renowned concerts, and epic awards. Guests will also explore the VIP areas and experience the arena's latest renovations. Visit Crypto.com Arena/tours for more info.
All right. We got a caller who says, I need to buy a car and I need to save money. Well, my friend, I've got one answer for you. The Cerritos Auto Square. It's America's largest auto mall. 24 dealerships, all the top brands, all in one easy location right here in SoCal. And here's the secret. These dealers sell more cars than anyone because they have low prices. And they can actually afford low prices because they sell so many cars. Check it out at CerritosAutosquare.com.
Cerritos Auto Square.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
It was a doubleheader in August and really hot inside the concession stand. So instead of waiting for people to come to me, I figured I'd walk around yelling, "Hot dogs here!" And that's how I became the first hot dog vendor in sports.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Harry Douglas here. When you're on a business trip, you know what goes completely off the rails? Your workout routine, folks. Especially when you book a hotel that doesn't have a gym. Then you have to squeeze in between the desk and your bed, eke out 2 push-ups, and call it a day. If you just stay at La Quinta by Wyndham, you'll discover there's a fully equipped fitness center at every location. Now you can wake up and do some weightlifting to prepare you to carry your team on your back all day long. Tonight, La Quinta, tomorrow you shine. Book direct at lq.com.
And it is Mason and Ireland, your Monday afternoon. Michelob Ultra Reaction Monday, all over Game 7 of the NBA Finals. You heard it here on 710 and the all-new ESPN LA app. The Thunder beat the Pacers in 7 games. We're reacting. Michelob Ultra, a refreshing and balanced flavor with only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Please enjoy responsibly. Mason and Ireland with Beto sitting in for Mace continues now on 710 ESPN and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
Good for you. It's like good living right
Is
there.
this Durant?
It is. 1984 number 1 song, Reflex.
Gracias.
I remember in the 80s, these guys came out with albums what seemed like every 6 weeks. I'm like, wait a minute, how'd they crank that? Them and Hall & Oates. Like every 6 weeks, Duran would have another hit.
My older siblings would have it, and I'm like, we're not related, are we? And I didn't, I mean, this was the 80s. I was a kid, but like my sister Irma, my brother Gabriel, that was Duran.
Okay, so Beto, you've covered several finals in person. Yep. I've covered, I think, 7 of them. And when I started, 4. It was 2-2. You played 2 games. The team that had the best record got the first 2 games.
Yep.
Then the other team got the next 2 games, and it was 1-1-1. And when it was the Lakers in Boston in the 80s, there was so much travel, they changed it to 2-3-2.
Yep.
All right, so the team with the best record gets the first 2 games and the last 2 games, and the team with the lesser record gets the 3 in the middle, which was less of an advantage. Zach Lowe, who works at The Ringer, wants to go back to 2-3-2. Here's Zach.
I love 2-3-2, and it allows you to have the 2 days of rest fewer times than happens in 2-2-1-1-1. I think you could. I'm going to go through it at a later date, but I love 2-3-2. I never have really understood the 2 big arguments against 2-3-2. Neither of which is Hollinger wrote about this 15 years ago. There's the argument that it's unfair to the top seed because the top seed should always have Game 5 at home. And then it's like, it's unfair to the lower seed because it's impossible to win 3 straight games at home. Well, who is it unfair to? The answer is it's not really unfair to anybody, more or less, than the 2-2-1-1-1. 2-3-2.
I disagree with Zach.
No,
I like 2-2-1-1-1.
No.
It does involve more travel, but Beto, I think it's more exciting that way. 2-3-2 is not much of an advantage to the team that played all year to get home court.
And you lose Game 2, right? You split at home.
Right.
And then you go on the road for 3. That advantage. And if you lose and next thing you know, you're facing elimination on the road, like, wait, how do we benefit from being the top seed? Yeah, we should have won at home, took care of business. But I think it was Boston, right? 2008 when we were in Boston. And when it was 2-3-2. And you're like, oh, man. I remember jumping on the plane, covering it, going to Game 6 in Boston.
Where they got blown out.
They got blown out. And you're wondering, do they even have a chance here? Yeah, they made it a series. They were down 3-2. The Lakers were. But if it would have been a game, I just don't like 2-3-2. I understood it back in the day for logistics-wise, but now it's so much easier. And there's so many days off between games. This NBA Finals lasted over 2 weeks, right? Because of the way that they spread things out. They didn't play on Father's Day, which would have been a perfect primetime game for them, for the NBA, but they have enough spread out. No, the 2-2-1-1-1 is the way it's got to stay because you can have those opportunities. You saw Game 6 in Indiana. If that game's in OKC, I think OKC wins that.
Right. Yeah, there's more drama, more interest. 2-2-1-1-1 to me just makes way more sense.
Yeah, the travel's not a big deal. Michael Thompson will tell you these guys travel great. Like it's no
right,
problem.
well, and they fly private now.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's not like you're going to have a whole planes, trains, and automobiles day.
And by the time you get to Game 6, these guys are so worn out having played the first round, the second round. To get there, give them as much rest as possible. Have the 1-1-1, and let's go.
And I think the more things you mess with, the more chances you have of screwing it up.
Yeah.
So 2-2-1-1-1 was good before they went to 2-3-2. It's good now. Leave it alone.
If you were the team and you had to choose, do you want 2-3-2? And you're the.
Well, if I could pick,
check this out. So the series is 2-3-2.
I would take the twos. I would take 2 in the beginning and 2 at the end, simply because I get the first game and I get the last game at home.
What if you're confident in yourself and you say, you know what, I'll take the 3 in the middle. We split the first 2 games, and I can win 3 at home.
Well, that's what happened in Detroit in 2004.
Yeah.
The Lakers and Pistons played. The Pistons won the first game, and then the Lakers needed a miracle from Kobe to win the second game, and then we went back to Detroit. I remember I packed a suit I didn't care about for Game 5 because I said, if the Lakers win, I'm going to get doused in champagne, and it went completely the other way. The Pistons won Game 3, Game 4, and Game 5. Yeah. No celebration at all. Yeah. So, no, I like 2-2-1-1-1. I know it's more travel, but I think it's more fun, and I think it's a better competitive environment.
That's the thing. The competitive environment that you create because of it's the 1-1-1.
Okay. So, speaking of planes and travel, did you see this? Do you use noise-canceling headphones when you're on planes? You're like me. You're on planes a lot.
Every damn time.
Me too. I use them on every flight.
And I have 2 sets just in case I forget one.
Right. Apparently, those headphones can lead to hearing loss and are bad for you.
Stop it.
But here's the weird thing.
No. Brian's got them on right now.
Here's the weird thing. I don't care, and I'm going to keep using them. I don't care if they lead to hearing loss and they're bad for me. Brian, does that make me stupid?
I don't think so, because I think just having the headphones on and blasting it is probably already leading to that anyway. So.
Right. You work in this look, every single time I walk in here, I have to lower the headphone volume if I'm following John, because you're pretty deaf as it is.
Me and Mason.
Mason has his own mode on that board that says Mace mode. So if you work in the radio business, you're going to be somebody who needs loud headphones. But as much as you
Laura, am I stupid to continue to use noise-canceling headphones?
No, because I do it, so I would be stupid with you. I mean,
all right.
honestly.
So here's the background on it. Some experts are sounding the alarm after finding a link between the increasing use of noise-canceling headphones and a rise in something called APD, auditory processing disorder. APD occurs when the brain struggles to process and interpret sound, even when hearing is normal. Individuals with APD, which I assume I have, may have difficulty understanding speech in noisy environments, differentiating sounds, or following directions. Well, I've had problems with that before I started using headphones.
Okay.
Our brains are naturally wired to process a wide range of sounds, including background noise, and this process is essential for developing auditory processing skills. By filtering out these sounds, noise-canceling headphones interfere with that process, affecting how the brain learns to process and interpret sounds. You know what, Beto? Don't care.
You know what, John? I stopped listening because I don't care.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Alcohol is bad for you. Everything in life is bad for you. Again, hearing, yes, you need it. But, I can get a hearing aid when I'm older. My mom does not want
My mom has one now.
My mom doesn't want one. She doesn't want to hear her kids.
Smart. I applaud
Esperanza's ready to go.
Mama Durant. Right, way to go.
I fly, and the companies I work for pay my flight. So I always upgrade to get the aisle seat, the exit row, which is always on the wing, which is always super loud.
Yeah.
So I make sure I have the loud Bose noise canceling, and when they come and tell you, oh, can you take that off? It's loud in that plane. Whatever causes me to be more comfortable, I want to do that. So if I'm going to go deaf later on, hey, All right.
It's a hazard of working.
But you don't use them every single day, do you?
No, I just use them on planes.
Just on the planes.
Yeah.
So this summer you're using it less because you're not traveling
Although if
as
I
much.
had you try these headphones on right now, you'd probably think they were loud.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I keep my
But
headphones
one reason why
low.
Mason and I keep our headphones loud is so we don't talk too loud, so we don't burn out our voices.
Is that why?
Yeah, because if you have it loud back in your head, you won't talk too loud.
When your play-by-play headset, do you have it loud?
Yeah, same
Scream.
thing. But Michael keeps his way lower than me.
Yeah, I do too.
But Michael, I mean, half the time he's eating chips.
Well, Michael's also not paying attention.
Yeah, so I mean, he's figured it out better than I have. All right, coming up next, this.
What do you got?
Well,
what do you got, John? You have a little smirk on your face.
Yeah, because it happened.
Are you deciding if you should do it or not?
Yeah, it happened again. I'm going to do it. It happened. It happened again.
Are we doing a Pepe Not Another Story?
At the College World Series yesterday.
Oh, I got something on that guy too.
Okay. These refs, these umpires are all out of control, and I'll explain why next. Beto Informace, Mason and Ireland, ESPN LA.
And reaction today on ESPN, NBA Today, a post-Game 7 edition hosted by our very own George Shinato. Be sure to watch Shinato starting at noon on ESPN and, of course, on ESPN+. And then hear George's reaction today at 3 o'clock.
Waba Grill.
What's our secret? It's our sauce.
Our sauces are more flavorful for you, from sweet and spicy to fiery hot. Waba Grill. It's unexpected. It's delicious. It's saucy. It's for you.
$95 calories. Michelob Ultra Superior Light Beer. Please enjoy responsibly.
Do you really think you've experienced real sports excitement in your home? It's Mace here, and I'm here to tell you to get off your couch and get into Cosm. Cosm is the ultimate immersive fan experience. The Dome at Cosm, massive 87-foot wraparound display with reserved booth-style seating. The Cosm Hall features wall-to-wall screens where you can watch multiple games at the same time. Incredible food, craft cocktails, beer available throughout Cosm. Go to Cosm.com to see all the sporting events coming up, and now showing The Matrix at Cosm.com.
The biggest event of the summer is coming to Honda Center. Saturday, June 28th. Most Valuable Promotions presents global boxing star Jake Paul on his path to becoming world champion. Taking on Mexico's former world champion, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com. In the co-main event, Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez defends his world titles against Cuba's knockout artist, Yuniel Dorticos. Former boxing and UFC champ Holly Holm returns live from the Honda Center on Saturday, June 28th. Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Are you looking for a trusted roofing expert in Southern California? Journey Builders has you covered. This is Mike Trudell from ESPN LA. Journey Builders specializes in quality roof replacements for homes around the Southland. They'll ensure that your roof stands strong. ESPN LA listeners who call in today to book their free same-day inspection get $5,500 off their roof replacement. Journey Builders also offers financing. Call 888-607-8808 today. That's 888-607-8808. Or go to journeybuildersinc.com.
New era, same home.
This could launch the Lakers into the stratosphere.
The Lake Show have a new ownership group led by Mark Walter.
And 710 ESPN had plenty to say.
I mean, is it fair to say maybe some of the biggest news in decades here in LA?
It was breaking news that shook the sports world.
The Buss family is entering an agreement to sell majority ownership of the Lakers to Mark Walter.
But one thing remains the same.
The heart of every Lakers fan beats through 710 ESPN.
Oh my God, guys. What a day in Lakerland.
From shock to excitement.
From questions to confidence.
This now puts the Lakers in every conversation. Yeah. Now there isn't a player they can't afford.
The reaction started right here on 710 ESPN.
This is awesome. New era for the purple and gold. Same home for the Los Angeles Lakers.
710 ESPN.
We're everyday people doing good in our community. Our kindness runs deep, just like our blood. The same blood we donate to help treat sickle cell disease, which hits black people the hardest. Good news is, 1 in 3 black blood donors is a match for someone struggling with sickle cell disease. Stand tall in the eyes of your community. Donate today because our blood saves lives. Visit redcrossblood.org/ourblood to make your donation.
Find what you love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
And it is Mason and Ireland, your Monday afternoon. A Michelob Ultra Reaction Monday, all over Game 7 of the NBA Finals. You heard it here on 710 and the all-new ESPN LA app. The Thunder beat the Pacers in 7 games. We're reacting. Michelob Ultra, a refreshing and balanced flavor with only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Please enjoy responsibly. Mason and Ireland with Beto sitting in for Mace continues now on 710 ESPN and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
Who's this?
Pharrell Williams.
Is this song have any significance, or are you just playing it?
It doesn't. I was just playing it. Came back a little late from the bathroom. You know, had to throw something on there.
All right, this from Darren Pollock. Thanks for listening, Darren. Noise canceling earphones lead to hearing loss. You know what else causes hearing loss? Noise. We're all going deaf, whatever we do. I'm with Darren. We're all going deaf. What difference does it make?
Going deaf.
Okay.
Noise bad.
So, Beto, as you know, I get worked up when officials or referees get a God complex.
I don't care.
I don't care. All right. When a coach tries to take over the game, like when they throw, that's from when they threw Luka out. I don't care.
In OKC, wasn't it?
Yeah, I lost it.
Yeah.
I mean, in a 1-point game in Oklahoma City, coming off of a 20-point Laker blowout who turned out to be the NBA champs.
Yep.
And some ref, because he's in a bad mood, throws Luka out of the game for talking to a fan.
For nothing.
So yesterday was the College World Series final.
Mm-hmm.
And one team was expected to be there, LSU. They won for the second time in 3 years. The other team was from Coastal Carolina.
Yep.
Kind of start. In the first inning, Beto, the first inning, their manager, a guy named Kevin Schnall.
Yeah, he's become a little darling during the College World Series, the way he's been talking.
Goes out to argue with the umps. And one of the umps, a guy named Angel Campos, ejects him from the College World Series, the only time Coastal Carolina's ever been there.
Yep.
And he throws the manager out in the first inning. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If I was a ref, an official, in football, baseball, basketball, hockey, Beto, you would have to put your hands on me before I'd call a technical foul or even consider ejecting you. If you come at me MFing me, I look at you and say, shut the F up and play.
Yep.
And if you keep going, I look right at you and go, if you don't shut up, I'm giving you a technical and I don't want to do it. Can you shut up? And if you still don't shut up, then maybe I give you a T, but I would even think about that. I would probably walk away. What the hell? Why would you throw a manager out of a World Series game in Omaha, what turned out to be the last game of the year, because you're mad at him?
So
explain it to me.
That was an elimination game. So the College World Series, when you get to the final, it's a best of 3. So you eliminate best of 3. So LSU had to win one game. Coastal Carolina had to win to keep the season going, right, to force a championship game today. Angel Campos is the umpire.
Yep.
Who was involved yesterday. Angel Campos. John, you know what his real given name is? Angel Hernandez Campos.
So
it's not the same guy.
Does he take after his namesake, apparently?
Yes, he does. So what happened was in that first inning, he missed 3 different pitches. And the Coastal Carolina coach was given a warning for arguing balls and strikes, which you cannot do. The NCAA and the umpires, whatever, they have it where you cannot argue balls and strikes. You're told this. You can't argue. Okay, fine. Major League Baseball, you get away with it. In the college baseball, you're given a warning for arguing balls and strikes, and then you're thrown out. So if you look at what happened, Angel Campos issued a warning, and that's why he was writing something down. he was writing a warning for the umpire, and then
for the manager.
For the manager, and the manager's like, "Why am I getting a warning?" He's like, "Because you're arguing balls and strike." Because that's what he said. Because you missed 3. He showed 3 fingers, and that's when he got rung. It's so bad that John Boy did the breakdown. They couldn't find the angle of where they were in the same frame because they were so far apart. You're right though. He was so far away that he couldn't. Like, if you're gonna get kicked out, Tom Minnesota style, Earl Weaver style, Billy Buckner style, you want to get your money's worth. At least make it a reason where, like they said in Bull Durham, there's certain words you shouldn't say to him. Angel Campos was a former Major League umpire. He was 7 years in Major League Baseball. He was from 2007 to 2014. The reason he's not in Major League Baseball, he got released by Major League Baseball for having a quick temper and bad judgment.
Well, let's release him from college, too. Because now he's ruining that sport.
Last year, he was involved in a controversy also in the College World Series, in the playoffs, getting there, where he tossed a player. College umpires are some of the most fickle, to the T, don't allow anything to go. And NCAA came out, issued a statement, and they defended the umpires. Of course they're going to do that, saying exactly what happened. And also the first base coach was tossed for arguing with it. It was the ump show in the first inning. There was no need for that at all. And Angel Campos, my friend Gary Patchett, who played in the Angels minor league system, sent out a tweet. I came up with Angel Campos. We all knew, excellent umpire, quick trigger. And that's in the minor leagues. So we're not surprised that this happened. And he's a local guy. He's born in Monrovia, here from Southern California. Probably listens to the station right now.
Well, if you're listening, Angel, stop it. Stop it. No one is paying to see you umpire. And no one cares if your feelings are hurt because the manager lit you up.
Yeah. He didn't even get lit up. He just said, you missed 3.
Turn to the manager and say, shut the F up. We're keep playing. Why are we throwing people out? Why are we throwing Luke out? Why are we throwing managers out? Why are we throwing anyone out?
Again, yeah, that is the rule, right? You give him the written warning, and if he continues to argue, you toss him. But know the situation, time and place, College World Series, they've never been there. They're not going to be there. They're not supposed to go against LSU, the Darlings, right? I'll get it wrong. In 2013, Campos ejected a Clemson player for celebrating a 13th inning game. He said, you can't do that to the player. Like, that's this complex, like the God complex.
Yeah, he's got the my way or the highway complex.
Yeah, and it's the rules are there to support him. Yes, technically he's right. But damn it, you got to have a feel for this. Like the other day with the Dodgers and the Padres, Trick Gibson ejected Dave Roberts, and Dave Roberts came out and said, you don't have a feel for this. And he's telling Marvin Hudson, the new guys you have coming up don't have a feel for what the game is. You have to understand. Like you said, you have to get in my face, hit me before I'm even going to do something.
Well, here's the thing. Great officials in any sport manage the game, all right? You could probably call it's a really hard job. It's a hard job to be an umpire.
Yes.
It's a hard job to be a ref.
Absolutely.
Nobody's saying it's easy. But here's the thing. If you are an umpire, if you are a referee, and you're within the sound of my voice, I know this isn't very nice to say, but it's the truth. No one is there to see you. You're not it.
No.
They are there to see the game. Manage the game.
That's what it is. Manage the game.
These athletes are highly competitive. That you've got to let them blow off steam, and you cannot do what that ref did in Oklahoma City. You cannot do what this umpire did yesterday in Omaha. You can't just take people who are integral to the result of the game. In Oklahoma City, it was Luka. Yesterday, it was a manager at Coastal Carolina, and throw them out because you don't like them or because they raised your voice to you. Grow a pair.
Like, if he's in your face, okay, but ESPN had to find 3 different angles to show where he was kicked out. Because it was so... Started 11, the YouTube chat says, remember the movie Forgetting Paris?
Yeah.
Billy Crystal kicks out Kareem in his retirement game?
Yeah.
Like, know the situation.
You remember Kareem looks at him and goes, you can't throw me out of this is my farewell game. And then he goes, let me be the first to say, Kareem, farewell.
That's a good movie.
Everybody.
That's a good movie right there.
Yeah, it just... I've been friends. I umpired. That was my job in college. I umpired to make money.
Me too.
On the side. And
you did games, huh?
Yeah.
For intramurals?
Intramurals for every sport.
Yeah?
And when people used to yell at me, I would look at them and go, are you done? I go, good, and I keep going.
There's people popping off in intramurals?
I've never thrown anyone out of a game ever.
UCLA intramurals getting tough, huh?
Yeah, and because everybody thinks that they're right and you're wrong.
Yeah.
And their chances are I was wrong occasionally, but I was never throwing anybody out.
If you're getting kicked out of intramurals, you got a problem.
Even though I was, why are we kicking out people in College World Series games? Why are we kicking Luka out of a game in Oklahoma City because he talked to a fan? What is with this God complex that these officials have developed that makes them think they're more important than the player staying in the game? It makes zero sense to me.
And the fact that he was let go by Major League Baseball, which is once you are in the big leagues as an umpire, you're not going anywhere. What up, Cowboy Joe West? You know, you're not going anywhere. You have to be that guy to get let go as an umpire.
And by the way, if you're saying, well, John, what about if they're disrespectful to the umpires? What about if they show them up and embarrass them? You know what I say about that? I don't care. You know what? They're not there to see the umpire.
Where's Joey Crawford at?
They're not. Joey Crawford once threw Tim Duncan out for laughing on the bench. Laughing. Yeah. Tim Duncan.
This guy Campos once threw out Matt Kemp for saying, let's go Dre. Back when I think it might have been his last season. And Manley came out. He's talking to his own teammate. Tossed him.
Yeah, just ridiculous. You umpires, just relax. Quit throwing people out for no reason.
And the majority are good. And they go through so much training. They go through so much information that they're given, but know the situation.
By the way, the weirdest
and I'm sympathetic as a former official.
The head official in the NBA is a guy named Monty McCutcheon, who I know a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Monty was good.
And Monty, you had to absolutely go over the top for Monty to throw you out of a game or even tee you up. Zach Zarba, who I think is the best ref in the league now, he never gives tees.
No.
He just says, are you done? Let's play.
No.
You know, and I wish more people would do that. All right, coming up next, What's Up, Fool? We'll get Laura in here. We'll get Brian in here. They'll throw a bunch of stuff at us, and we'll tackle it all next. Better Durant in for Mace. Mason and Ireland, ESPN LA.
The fun way to drive home is with Sedano and Cap.
Coming up today at 3 p.m.
But I'm not really the conspiracy theorist per se.
Oh, no. Tu no. No.
And by the way, I take great offense to what you just said. How? You don't refer to me as something more respectful than tu? Ustedes? Por favor?
You want to be the old man?
See.
Wait,
okay.
You're going to be, so you want him to like
call you old,
address you?
I would like formality. I mean, tu is just very, tu is like, again, it's informal. I thought Beto was capable of being informal with you. I thought it was respectful. I thought it was a lack of respect.
Usted is to like someone you're strangers with.
It's an older gentleman. Mr. Kaplan shows up from Del Boca Vista. He's usted.
Yeah.
But you're Cappy.
Yeah,
you're Cappy.
I'm just
you should be tu.
Okay.
Sedano and Cap on 710. The fun way to drive home.
Sedano and Cap.
The NBA, the draft, free agency, the offseason, every moment of what the purple and gold do on the biggest offseason in history. We have your dose of what's next for the Lakers, thanks to Pro Baller, the official energy drink of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Pacific Palms Resort, LA's Hilltop Hideaway and #1 work and play resort, provides opportunities for all travelers and locals. Enjoy restful accommodation, dine in the Red Restaurant with an expansive outside patio, or pamper yourself and relax at the spa. Hit the links at one of their 2 championship courses, the Babe and the Ike. Pacific Palms Resort is the perfect choice for a Los Angeles venue for your business meetings, weddings, and big events. Enjoy a beautiful staycation or family holiday at their Hilltop property. Book your stay at LA's #1 work and play resort today at PacificPalmsResort.com.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. We are ranked number 18 in the nation and #1 in Orange County for orthopedic and spine care by U.S. News & World Report. From the surf to the green, our world-class doctors are there, which is why more Californians choose Hoag Orthopedic Institute for orthopedic and spine care more than any other hospital. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there is no one better at getting you back to you. Proudly founded by premier physicians in partnership with Hoag. Learn more at HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
For more than 75 years, University of Maryland Global Campus has given you the opportunity to build your next success. Choose from more than 135 degree and certificate programs in career-relevant fields like business, healthcare, data analytics, cybersecurity, and more. Plus, we offer 100% online and hybrid courses, personalized advising, and lifetime career services. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
And it is Mason and Ireland, your Monday afternoon. Michelob Ultra Reaction Monday, all over Game 7 of the NBA Finals. You heard it here on 710 and the all-new ESPN LA app. The Thunder beat the Pacers in 7 games. We're reacting. Michelob Ultra, a refreshing and balanced flavor with only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Please enjoy responsibly. Mason and Ireland with Beto sitting in for Mace continues now on 710 ESPN and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
What's Up, Fool is brought to you by Dos Hombres Mezcal. It's fate. It's friendship. It's Mezcal. Dos Hombres.
All right, guys. Beto, this one's really not for you, but I really don't care. So, Honey Beach.
Get it right. I don't care.
There you go.
Yeah,
so, Honey
exactly.
Beach hosted one of the most adorable and
I
action-packed
don't care.
competitions of the year,
About
Friday and
what?
Saturday. The 28th Annual Purina Pro Plan Incredible Dog Challenge. We are dog
Bye.
people. We are dog people in this show, but I know you're not.
No.
So it brought together the most talented dogs in the country, competing in surfing, diving, catching, and jumping through hoops, all in a pursuit for a spot on a winner's stage. So I know, Brian, you have a beautiful pup. Ireland, you have one. My mom has dogs. I want to know, if you could have your dog participate in one of these extreme sports, which one would you want your dog to participate? And I'll read them again.
Okay.
Surfing, diving, catching, and jumping through hoops.
Well, the surfing and diving seems somewhat mean, so I think I would do the catching and jumping through hoops. Brian, how about you?
I've always wished that my dog could surf. I've seen
It looks
the
cool when
videos.
it's
cool.
It looks
Yeah.
the coolest thing ever. And if your dog likes the water, because I know dogs love the water, I feel like the dog surfing would have the time of his life.
I always see
Laura?
people paddleboarding with their dog.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
They just can't be afraid of the water.
Laura, which one are you doing?
So I don't like the diving. That one seems mean, but the surfing looks super cool. I would want my mom's little Maltese riding on that surfboard. That'd be super dope.
So, Beto, you've never had a dog?
Nah, I'm still scared of them. I don't like them.
You don't like dogs?
He got bit by one.
I got bit by a pit bull when I was a paper
Okay.
boy. But even then, now I don't like the slobber. I don't like them touching me. I don't like them being around me. I don't like the hair. I just don't like them. I don't want to take care of them.
Haven't you taken care of Chewy?
No.
I could have sworn
So
you
the
walked
joke,
Chewy.
no, hell no. I've never walked a dog. I held
Chewy is Lindsay's dog.
Lindsay's dog was here one
So
time,
cute.
and she had to run inside, so I held the leash. And the dog started moving. I'm like, I'll let you go, bro. Like, I'm not falling on you. No, I'm just not a dog person. And I know people hate me all the time. How can you not be? Because I don't want to clean up poop. I don't want pee around me. I don't like the hair around me. I don't like the slobber. I don't like the mess of leaves.
Are you a cat person?
Hell no. I'm not an
You
animal
sound like
person at
a
all.
cat person.
No, I sound like I'm a cat person?
Yes.
Yeah, no.
What's
yeah,
that, fool?
yeah, you're missing out on not
Nah,
having
I'm okay.
a dog.
I'm okay.
What's up, fool?
Okay, so we know Ireland. You've said before you'll do anything for almost $100.
For $100, yeah. You got $100 you want to give me?
I don't, but I want to see what you would done here.
Okay.
Over the weekend, the White Sox announcer John Schifrin actually was dared on air to go up to the CN Tower, which is 116 stories tall, and they have something called the Edge Walk, where you can kind of like hang off the edge, 116 stories.
Done.
So he was dared to do this on air, and his whole thing was because it was on air, I couldn't back down. You know, they got that live tape out there. So two-part, have you ever been dared to do something that you wouldn't do, and then something that you have done?
Okay, so I've done a lot for the $100, mostly from Michael. He doesn't think I'll do anything, and I just keep doing it. I'll give you guys a couple of them, but and I would do that one, like, no problem. I have two conditions, Brian, when I'm issued a $100 challenge, because the word's out now that I'll do almost anything for $100. So if it's going to, the number one thing, if it's going to cause physical injury to me or anyone else, I'm out. I don't want anybody getting hurt.
Fair. Yeah.
Okay, that's number one. And rule number two, if it in any way could lead to me getting fired, I'm out. So the one Michael gave me last time was he wanted me to run across a live runway. We were late. I had to stay after a game and take a private car to join the Laker plane at the airport. And the car, I had a really aggressive driver, and he drove right out to the steps of the plane, even though it was like practically on a runway. And they all stopped him and said, "You can't take a car out there. You can't take a car out there." I go, "That's okay. I'll just run." And Michael said, "Iron, you can't run. It's a federal. You're breaking federal law." I didn't know that, and so the car drove me out there, and I was fine. But so that's an example of something I
It's
wouldn't.
like a movie, like in Speed, right? You're just out there running the
You
tarmac.
can't run. Yeah, you can't
no,
run.
No.
So here's a couple of recent ones that Michael had me do.
How much have you made over the years? A couple grand?
Maybe. Trudell's done a lot of these. Trudell's here tomorrow.
Yes.
All right. So here was one. We're at a game in Phoenix, and Michael has. By the way, if you ever see Michael, for those of you who know Michael, he has all of these on video.
Yes,
so
he does.
just he'll show them to you if you ask him. So I'll give you two of them that I've done recently. One of them was we're in Phoenix and it's like 2 hours before the Lakers-Suns game. And Mike and I are sitting at our table where we do the game, and on the other side of the court, the entire front row, so picture a whole row of courtside seats, maybe 100 of them. There are two girls, attractive girls, sitting talking to each other with a seat open in between them. But Beto, they're talking to each other, so their knees are turned towards each other.
Before the building opens up.
Yeah, just the only people in there are people that are working the game.
Okay.
So I don't know who these girls are. And Michael says to me, Ireland, if you walk over there and sit in between those two girls, so keep in mind, there's 25 empty seats on each side of them that I could sit in. They're sitting with an empty seat in between them with their knees swung towards the middle.
Having a conversation.
Having a private conversation. He says to me, if you walk over there, sit down in between those two girls and do not say a word. You cannot speak for 60 seconds. I'll give you $100. So
he always puts little things in there.
So I walk over to the two girls and I do a hand gesture like move your legs like this, like give me an opening.
Like I'm sitting here.
Yeah, and they look at me and they go, "Excuse me? You can't sit in any of these other seats?" And I shake my head no, and I sit right in between them.
They didn't hit you?
They say, "Are you okay?
Security didn't
come?
come?
Is something wrong with you?"
That's creepy, John.
And Michael knew it. And Michael's dying because they're talking to me and I can't talk back. So I point. I don't even have a watch on better. And I go like this. I point to where my watch would be, and I go like this.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Do you want to know what time it is?" And the other goes, "It's a dare. It's a bet." And I point to her like, "You got it on the nose." I point to my nose and I point at Michael, and Michael's filming this whole thing with his phone. And she goes, "How long do you have to sit here?" And
she figured this out.
Yeah, and I go,
if it's me or Brian, we're getting slapped.
Yeah,
and we're getting arrested.
I go like this.
There's no chance we pull this off.
She goes, 1 hour? And I shake my head. She goes, "Only 1 minute?" And I nod my head, yes. I sit there for a minute. I go, "Thanks a lot." I handed them each $20, and I took the 100 from Michael.
Yeah, that's privilege.
Okay.
That is privilege right there.
So
we are so kicked out, credentials revoked.
So how about this one? Our hotel in Houston is
that really nice one, right?
Super nice hotel. Nicest hotel in the league. At night, they have a pool in the middle of the hotel. So picture the hotel.
Yeah, I've been there. I went there once. I didn't stay there, but I went there.
So at night, they close the pool and they set up a restaurant around the pool that's like a 5-star restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Can't even get a reservation there.
Can't get in. We're at Mastro's across the street.
Mm-hmm.
We walk back to the hotel. Michael goes, "Ireland, I'll give you $100 if you walk directly into the pool with all your clothes on."
Stop.
And I go, "Can I take my wallet and my phone out of my pocket?" And he goes, "Yes." I take my wallet, I take my phone, I hand it to Michael, and I walk right into the pool.
John.
And everybody is like, and the hotel manager comes out. And
What time?
Like
10-ish?
9:30 at night.
So it's packed.
Packed. And the manager runs out and he goes, "What's going on here?" I go, "He just bet me $100 I wouldn't walk into the pool." And the manager goes, "Can you get out of the pool?" I go, "Yeah." And he goes, He goes, I want to be mad at you, but that is too funny.
That is
And
a
he gets me-
fancy
He
hotel.
gets me a giant towel.
Oh,
I wrap
yeah.
up the
We
towel.
would have got security and escorted out.
And I said, can you do me one favor? He goes, yeah, what? And I go, I'm going to bring my wet clothes back down. We just throw them in a dryer for an hour.
I didn't
And
do
he
your
goes-
job.
And he did it. And I got the $100.
Not us.
Yeah. You see, none of you guys wouldn't
Yeah,
do either.
Help me out here.
You guys wouldn't do either one of those?
I
we're
would
getting
not get
arrested,
yes,
John.
we would not get away with it, John.
What about the thing with the girls?
Oh,
I mean, I can get away with that.
Harassment lawsuit.
You can't get away. I could probably get away with the girl thing, but
Yeah.
not Beto.
Like Parker shaking his head. No, you wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do the thing with the girls.
Parker would do
Oh,
it.
that
Come
was
on.
easy money.
This is rich
That's
people.
Sounds like easy
This is rich people, man.
Oh, the worst one I ever did, Beto, was when Mark Shaw, the Lakers TV producer, we were walking down the Bourbon Street in New Orleans.
Yeah,
and he goes, look at this street.
Yeah.
He goes, it's got vomit and horse poop. This is the dirtiest street in America. Can you imagine what's on the bottom of your shoes? I'd give anybody $100 who would lick the bottom of their
you
shoes.
nasty.
And I had a loafers on, and I took it off.
Nasty.
I was on my third hurricane, and I had a hurricane in my hand, and I went like this, Beto. I took out my shoe, licked the bottom, took a sip of the hurricane, and spit it out.
Slurricane.
John, you are for the streets. That's disgusting.
$100.
Sucio.
Come on.
For the streets.
What's up, fool?
Is it mine or yours? But I don't even remember.
You got a good
I think
lawyer.
it's mine.
He's got a good lawyer.
Okay. I saw that Tyler, the creator, said that we should ban podcasts. His quote says, I think we give a lot of people who aren't smart and just want attention platforms to be loud and incorrect, and other stupid people follow them. Where are the people with skills? We need electricians. We need more drummers, painters, teachers. Everybody with a mic is crazy. I just think that bleep is gross. So do you guys agree with Tyler, the creator, that podcasts have become a platform for some of the loudest people with, not a lot of things to say? And is a mic too accessible now?
No and no. I don't agree with them, and a mic is not too accessible. And here's the main reason why, Beto. I never understand this. I never understand why people get worked up about someone using their platform for whatever reason they're using it for. Let's say politically you're a liberal Democrat. You're not going to be listening to a podcast with like uber MAGA conservative dudes.
Nope.
And if you're an uber MAGA conservative dude, you're not going to be listening to a libtard podcast, all right? I don't have to listen to everything that's out there. It's up to me. I'm the consumer. So why do I care if you have a podcast or Laura has a podcast or Brian has a podcast? I don't have to listen to it. It's up to me.
So a guy
what
named,
am I missing here?
A guy whose name is The Creator is telling you not to create. Okay, got that. So you're telling me what platform I should do. Okay, got that. Look, again, people hate me on the radio. Great. I always say there are a billion podcasts that you can listen to.
Right.
There are so many options that you can have, and you can find something that's curated for you. Your algorithm will find something for you. Do some people need voices? No. Are they allowed to have them? Yes. Do I have to listen? No. Am I happy if they succeed? Yes. Everybody should be able to do whatever they want. And sometimes you want those people to talk so they can sound really, really stupid, and we can find out how stupid you really are.
And
especially in politics.
To Tyler, the creator's point, Laura, to get to the heart of your question, he doesn't like people that are out there. Then don't listen to him.
So he's gatekeeping.
You're totally in control of what,
No.
who was it? Eleanor Roosevelt said, people cannot offend you without your consent.
Correct.
So why are you getting offended to things you wouldn't be listening to anyway? 99% of the podcasts out there I've never heard. If I find one that I like, great. And if you want to start a podcast, more power to you. Go for it.
A lot of them are honestly stagnant on the podcast.
And also,
by the way, Beto, if no one listens ever, the podcast goes away.
Yeah, all you need is one person to listen. That's it. And it's just you. If you believe in yourself, go for it.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to start
I'm
somewhere.
never going to tell anybody they can't create.
And
That's
at the end of the
crazy.
day, people are going to be done with the podcast after 3 episodes because they realize how much work it is.
It is so much work.
All right, Brian, you got one more? We done?
What's up, fool?
I got one quick one here
Okay,
for
go
you.
for
So
it.
the numbers just came out. Apparently, the Pacers Thunder Game 7 was the most
Oh,
watched
here we
NBA
go.
game
Ratings.
in 6 years.
Ratings talk.
All the talk, before the series started, small market, nobody's going to watch this. What does
Right.
it say that it was the most watched game in 6 years?
Well, I think it speaks to the power of a Game 7.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's been a Game 7 since when? Would we have to go back to LeBron at Golden State? I think so. When LeBron had the block shot and Kyrie hit the jumper. in 2016. Yeah. That was 8 years ago, and this is the highest watched game in 6 years. Makes sense to me. It's a winner-take-all Game 7. Why wouldn't you watch it?
Again, the people that worry about ratings are the TV executives. That's who it should matter to. If it's good basketball, it should just be good basketball, and that's what it was. There were no villains in this series. There were no people that you hate, but you had people you can root for. SGA, you had Haliburton. You have people that you like, and it was good basketball. So I'm not surprised at all. And it's also a Sunday. You're going to get good ratings on a Sunday.
All right, speaking of the NBA, now that another season is in the books, that was the last game of the 24-25 season. What changes would you make moving forward? LeBron has a couple of ideas, and they're pretty radical. We'll share them with you next. Beto Informace, Mason and Ireland, ESPN LA.
Don't miss Travis and DeMarco.
Live from LA Live. Back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Let me explain to you the best place to get a hot dog. But it's a golf course thing. They will split the dog like you're talking about. They'll butterfly the dog, right? They will typically cook it on the flat top so it gets a little of that crust on both the inside and the outside. And then they put it back in the bun. And then there's that little like groove in the hot dog that catches all the stuff. You're welcome.
Travis Rogers and DeMarco Farr.
On 710 ESPN.
Listen all week to Sedano and Cap for your chance to win a pair of VIP tickets to the biggest pro wrestling convention this Saturday, June 28th at Hilton LAX. Listen for the cue to call and be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN. 2 tickets with VIP access to LAX Fan Fest plus 1 autograph by Ahmad Johnson. Listen to Sedano and Cap for your chance to win or visit fanfestlax.com for tickets.
This is an ad by BetterHelp.
With over 35,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Talk it out with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month of therapy at BetterHelp.com/timeout. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. ESPN LA 710 and Children's Dental Fun Zone present the T-Ball Tee-Off, part of ESPN LA's All-Star Friday Night, happening Friday, July 11th at West Covina Sportsplex. From 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., kids ages 7 to 12 will take the field to showcase their big swings. Meet ESPN LA talent, win prizes, and enjoy a morning of fun. Limited spots are available. Sign up now at ESPNLA.com. Thanks to our friends at Children's Dental Fun Zone. Sparkling smiles, happy kids.
The fun way to drive home is with Sedano and Cap.
Coming up today at 3 p.m.
But I'm not really the conspiracy theorist per se.
Oh, no.
No. And by the way, I take great offense to what you just said. How? You don't refer to me as something more respectful than two? Ustedes? Por favor?
You want to be the old man?
See.
Wait,
okay.
you're going to so you want him to, like,
call you old,
address you?
I would like formality. I mean, two is just very,
two is like, again, it's informal. I thought Beto was capable of being informal
I thought it was respectful. I thought it was a lack of respect.
Usted is to, like, someone you're strangers with.
It's an older gentleman. Mr. Kaplan shows up from Del Boca Vista. He's usted.
Yeah.
But you're Cappy. Yeah, like, you're Cappy.
I'm just
You should be two.
Okay.
Sedano and Cap on 710. The fun way to drive home.
Sedano and Cap.
Do you really think you've experienced real sports excitement in your home? It's Mace here, and I'm here to tell you to get off your couch and get into Cosm. Cosm is the ultimate immersive fan experience. The Dome at Cosm, massive 87-foot wraparound display with reserved booth-style seating. The Cosm Hall features wall-to-wall screens where you can watch multiple games at the same time. Incredible food, craft cocktails, beer available throughout Cosm. Go to Cosm.com to see all the sporting events coming up, and now showing The Matrix at Cosm.com.
Hi, this is Sean McVay of your LA Rams. The Rams play here. KSPN, Los Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A good karma brands radio station.
ESPN 710, Los Angeles. Sports.
And it is the biggest show on the radio. Mason and Ireland is on for your Monday afternoon.
Yeah, Ireland, best show on the radio.
Here we go, the Monday, June 23rd edition of the Hall of Famers, or at least one of them. Johnny I's here. But sitting in for Mace, who's back on vacation, the one and only, the Cisco Kid, Beto Durant. We're all over Game 7 of the NBA Finals on this Michelob Ultra Reaction Monday. Thanks to Michelob Ultra, a refreshing and balanced flavor with only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Please enjoy responsibly. Plus, Dodgers, Nationals from the weekend, Angels, Astros, and so much more. Let's do it. And, of course, fun and frivolity, especially with Beto there. The biggest show on the radio, Mason and Ireland, your Monday afternoon right now.
It is a Monday afternoon, and Beto's in for Mace. And a couple of, what do they do at the end of PTI, where they do corrections and retractions?
Yeah, and good night, Canada, wave the flag.
Yeah. I earlier said, incorrectly as it turns out, that Coastal Carolina was in the World Series final for the first time. A couple of people have corrected me. 8 years ago, they won it. Yeah. So it wasn't their first time. They won it in 2016. Yeah. But this guy was managing for the first time, right?
Yeah, he was the assistant before.
Yeah, and so they threw him out. And I think that these officials are way too quick to throw people out of games, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. Last night, Game 7, Brian Cohen just mentioned, highest-rated NBA game in 6 years. The best team won.
Yeah.
Oklahoma City had the best team. They had the best season. They deserve to win. I would have loved to have seen Haliburton because when they cut it to – they were down by 22. They cut it to 10 with about 5 minutes to go, and that's what that team had done all year is make these ungodly comebacks, and he was always the comeback kid. He was always the guy that would hit the winning shot. But
you saw the situation where T.J. McConnell has the ball in his hands, like, okay, good. Then you realize why T.J. is the guy that comes off the bench when they were pressing him at half court, when they were giving him different looks. Like, okay, he was becoming turnovers, and it just like they had it, but they didn't have enough to get there. Then Siakam, okay, and then Miles Turner, he just did not play this series, huh? Like that's the guy a lot of Laker fans would call and say, "Hey, Miles Turner this, Miles Turner that," and you're like, he can't play in certain situations for you,
right? And
he'll get paid,
right? And Oklahoma City, like I said, they won 68 games. They earned home court. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander right now is the best player in the world.
So good.
So it was well deserved. And I'm happy for Alex Caruso, who to me is great. Did you see the story that after the game, they're the second youngest team ever to win the title. The 77 Portland Trailblazers were a couple of months younger.
Yep.
But these guys were so young, Beto. They didn't know how to open a bottle of champagne.
I said that.
That was hilarious.
I forgot to send it, but it was they didn't know how to open champagne. They didn't know how
Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein had to teach him how to do it.
And then I think it was Jalen Williams. One of the players said he drank the beer and he's like, "Ew, I need tequila. I want tequila instead." And then another player at the podium, I don't know who said it. He's like, "Oh, I got these Michelob goggles."
Oh, it was Chet.
It was a Chet.
He didn't know how to say Michelob.
Yeah, he's like, because young guys aren't really drinking beer like that in the NBA. They're getting loaded.
Did you guys see that there was a bunch of beer left over too because a lot of them didn't want it or they weren't old enough to drink or something?
It was like the most subdued celebration,
which is probably not good for the rest of the league.
No, because these guys don't know how to party like this. Nobody knew what they were doing. Like, they need some baseball guys in there to show them how to do things.
Yeah, they do.
Alex Caruso, who I love, who played for the Lakers, was on our bubble championship team in 2020. Great guy. Is taking some heat because after the game, he was kidding. He was being sarcastic. But after the game, they asked him what this title means. And, well, I'll just play it for you, and you can see if he deserves criticism here. I don't think he does, but here it is.
How much better does this one feel?
Yeah, now I got a real one. Now nobody can say anything. Yeah, I think just because of the way the team is constructed now versus the team I had in 2020, like it was much harder with this team just because of the experience, right? And everybody talked about.
All right, so he said, I've got a real one now because everybody rips the bubble title for not being real. He said afterwards, after he got back to him, that people were mad at him. He goes, I was 3 beers in. I was being sarcastic.
Wait, nobody understood that? He was being sarcastic?
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Caruso is a great guy.
Anybody who's a member of that team, people are going to tell you, oh, it was the bubble championship. So, yeah, he's just saying this to shut you up.
Yeah.
Like, oh, people are really giving him crap for this.
Yeah, but,
God,
welcome to social media.
Why am I surprised?
Yeah. All right, so every year after the season ends, we all go back to the drawing board and say, okay, what rules changes, what should we do to moving forward for next season? And this is a longer conversation. I've got a bunch of ideas. My biggest idea is that I would just get rid of the preseason. Now, all my friends at the Lakers yell at me when I bring this up, and they say, well, how are you going to replace the revenue that we get from those 6 preseason games?
Acrisure Arena needs them, baby.
And I say,
Bakersfield needs you, Ireland.
Charge more for the regular season games to make up that revenue, but I think this would allow you to get rid of all back-to-backs because most teams have 12 to 14 back-to-backs. That would be my goal. Start the season 2 weeks earlier. So that would be the number one thing I would do.
I'm right there with you.
LeBron does his podcast now, his Mind the Game podcast.
Speaking of everybody having a podcast.
With Steve Nash, and they started talking about what rule changes would be good, and LeBron has some pretty radical ones. Listen to this.
The 40-minute game is intriguing.
It is.
Because the game happens so damn fast.
Right.
So there's no...
Isn't that crazy how international games can be over?
Oh, my goodness. Yes. And you have no, there's no easing into an international game, you know?
Right.
And that gives it a little bit more sense of urgency, you know? So that's something to discuss. That would be something that could, we could possibly, have a conversation about. It'd be hard because, you start messing with the history of the game and all that stuff. You take 8 minutes, all that type of stuff. But something to discuss. That's something that could be talked about too. I'm always I've been very intrigued with the goaltending rule.
I was going to ask you.
I actually love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. It's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't happen as much as you would think.
Right.
And even when you're playing against the international guys and this is their rule, there's times where the ball is tinkering around the rim and they just, you kind of get oh, shit, I should have went and got it.
It's harder than it looks.
It's harder than it looks, but I think that's, I actually like the goaltending rule. It's pretty cool.
All right, so he's talking about two different things. Yeah. First one is 40-minute games. You would sync it up with the college game, with the WNBA, and with the Olympic FIBA rules. You don't like it?
No, not at all. Because it's a 48-minute game for a reason, the way that it goes. Also, you're always talking about follow the money. You're going to have less commercials, right? You're going to have less inventory to sell there, and that's what helps. Also, you're going to mess with the records. That's not even a non-starter. You're not going to change what the game has always been. What I do like is that goaltending, because you and Michael really talks about that when he played in Italy, how you just swipe it off of there, right?
In international basketball, there's no such thing as on the cylinder. There's no such thing as ball on the way down. You're allowed to grab anything.
That one I'm okay with. What about the one that you brought up a lot, where you change the three-point line?
I would, if it were me.
The corner three, right? Basically,
eliminate the corner three. Make it a semicircle that goes from one side of the court to the other. So there are no threes in the corners.
Because guys just camp out there.
Right. And it's the shortest three. And I think that the game has too many threes now, so I would do that too. The 40-minute one I don't hate as much as you do. I don't think they can sell it because of all the reasons you said. But I'm in favor of anything that gets people to stop sitting. I think there's too many players in the NBA. Kawhi is the poster boy for this, who, if there's a back-to-back situation, they sit.
Well, then get rid of the back-to-backs.
Right. So if they refuse to get rid of the preseason and they refuse to get rid of the back-to-backs, maybe 40-minute games would get guys to play a little bit more.
No, because then now they're going to say that, well, we don't have enough time to recover because a 40-minute game is faster. You have to put more stress on your body, and because you have less minutes to rest. Right? It's just there's always going to be something. The 40-minute, that's radical right there, right? The college game is even talking about.
Adam Silver's talked about it.
Yeah, but that's just way out there. You're changing everything about the game. What you want to change is certain things. The back-to-backs you can control, get rid of those. They've already done some stuff with the travel, right? Helping alleviate some of the travel for certain teams. Okay, right? You're not getting penalized for certain things. Okay, that's fine. But that 40 minutes, I don't care about that one. That's not going to happen. It's like going, okay, you know what? 9-inning games, let's just make them 7. You're not going to change it like that. It's the same thing you're doing.
Right. I don't think they can sell the 40-minute game thing. But I do think you could get rid of the preseason and eliminate the back-to-backs. But the question is for LeBron and every other player who are intrigued by rule changes, and you touched on it. What I get back from my bosses is anytime you suggest a rule change that's going to take back revenue In other words, it's going to be less money coming in. So like the one I said, let's get rid of the 6 preseason games. The question you always get back, and you better have an answer for it, or they'll laugh you out of the room. How do you replace that revenue?
Yeah, billionaires are not giving money back.
Right. How do you replace the revenue? And that's always what they'll ask you. All right, coming up next, NIL has changed college sports forever, moving forward, particularly college football.
Crazy.
But in college basketball, your son plays college basketball.
Yeah, he's not getting any NIL, but his friends are, and it's interesting what I've heard for some of these kids, man.
The NIL in college basketball is about to get really interesting, and we'll explain what we're talking about next. Game of Games is this hour. It is my game today. And by the way, keep an eye on gas prices. If you're one of those people like me that said you were never going to get an electric car, you might change your mind when I tell you what I'm going to tell you. All still to come. Mason in Ireland. Beto in for Mace, ESPN LA.
Reaction Monday.
The first title of the OKC era is complete. One of the youngest rosters in recent memory has just completed one of the finest seasons in NBA history.
On 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app, plus on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles, we are reacting to the Oklahoma City Thunder's win in 7 games over the Indiana Pacers. Thanks to Michelob Ultra, a refreshing and balanced flavor with only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer, please. Enjoy responsibly.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. We are ranked number 18 in the nation and number 1 in Orange County for orthopedic and spine care by U.S. News and World Report. From the surf to the green, our world-class doctors are there, which is why more Californians choose Hoag Orthopedic Institute for orthopedic and spine care more than any other hospital. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there is no one better at getting you back to you. Proudly founded by premier physicians in partnership with Hoag. Learn more at HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com. Located in the heart of downtown Los Angeles, Crypto.com Arena is pulling back the curtain and unveiling new behind-the-scenes VIP tours presented by Delta Airlines, which offers an exclusive look inside one of the world's most iconic sports and entertainment venues. Expert guides will lead small groups through spaces that have hosted legendary sports championships, world-renowned concerts, and epic awards. Guests will also explore the VIP areas and experience the arena's latest renovations. Visit Crypto.com Arena/tours for more info.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
So it was the fourth quarter and we're down by 5. Sweat pouring down my face. Suddenly it hit me. If only I could wrap part of the towel around my forehead. And that's how I became the first basketball player to wear a headband.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
We may get some news today.
If it breaks,
it'll be one of the biggest stories.
It'll be the biggest story of 2025.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, if it breaks.
The Bus family is passing the Showtime torch.
And, with Mark Walter as our owner and everything that's backing with what he did to the Dodgers, I'm all for turning the Lakers into an evil empire. I'm down for that.
The home of the Lakers, 710 ESPN, and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
And it is Mason in Ireland, your Monday afternoon. A Michelob Ultra Reaction Monday, all over Game 7 of the NBA Finals. You heard it here on 710 and the all-new ESPN LA app. The Thunder beat the Pacers in 7 games. We're reacting. Michelob Ultra, a refreshing and balanced flavor with only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Please enjoy responsibly. Mason in Ireland with Beto sitting in for Mace continues now on 710 ESPN and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
All right, Mason in Ireland, Beto in for Mace. Beto, Seth Davis, who might be the top college basketball writer in the country, says that we aren't paying enough attention to this new revenue sharing plan that starts July 1st. He says it will be a shock to college basketball recruits because most, if not all, of the NIL money is going to end up going to football players. Todd Golden, who just coached Florida to the title last season, says this. It's going to be a complete 180. As soon as the next cycle starts, guys are going to be making 20% of what they had been making the last 2 years. It's going to be a challenge to explain to them and for them to understand why that is happening. And the reason it's happening is because when they added this revenue sharing element, they decided that 80% of the money is going to go to football players. And now these basketball players who are putting themselves in the portal to try and cash in, the top ones will still get paid, but all the other guys aren't, right?
Yeah, so my son mentioned plays basketball, so a lot of his friends are guys that are in that portal where they're smaller schools going to bigger schools.
Right.
Or guys who were at big schools didn't play as much coming down. But some of his friends are the ones that are going to be incoming freshmen. And I poke around a little bit, talk to them, and they've all said that the money in the last few years has changed from what they expected to get to what is being told. That's why some of these recruits are going to the smaller schools. Say they go to a Mountain West school instead of going to a Big Ten school because there's more money available for you at the smaller school than the bigger one if you're a bigger name, right? If you're, say, a 4-star, well, if you go to, say, UCLA, they might not give you as much. And these kids all now know they could just go 1 year at one school, ball out, and either go to the NBA or go make more money everywhere else. But it's every single year there's different things, and it's still the Wild West. And the football money, if you're the QB, you're getting paid. If you're the 7-footer in basketball, you're going to get paid. If you're the elite guy who has potential to be a lottery pick. But it's the ones in the middle of the pack. Things are different, and there's less money.
And, well, there's less money, but there's also some unintended consequences. Did you hear about this softball pitcher at Texas Tech?
Yeah, she was at Stanford last year.
Yeah, they paid her $1 million in a non-revenue sport, Beto. So softball doesn't make any money. It costs some money to have a softball team. And they paid her $1 million. She led them all the way to the championship game this year. And since there's no, super established professional softball league, they're giving her another $1 million to come back and do it again next year.
Because some other school was going to offer her something else. But that's where schools like Texas, where they have the oil money tycoons who are alumni that are giving. Remember T. Boone Pickens at Oklahoma State?
Yeah.
Trying to buy everything, would never win, but he was spending all that money.
Right.
That's what it is. That's one of, UCLA doesn't have that big booster who's a billionaire who's giving you all the money. It's different. It's still the wild, wild west. That's why some of these women's sports, do they go to the WNBA? Do they stay in college and make a couple $1 million? Because the starting salary when you're a rookie, the WNBA is what, maybe close to 6 figures?
Right. And in some of these cases, the college is going to pay them more money than they make if they turn pro.
It is.
So I think it's an ever-changing world that we're living in.
And a lot of these NIL agents are still street agents where they don't know what's going on. If you're getting that world, you better make sure you get with an established person who actually knows what's going on instead of just like somebody who, I'm an agent for NIL. You have no idea what's going on.
All right, there's a couple of cool things I wanted to play here for you guys. First, this is my buddy James Worthy doing a tribute to Dr. Buss when the news came down that the Lakers had been sold. Here's Big Game James.
Our city is named the City of Angels. The angels are smiling on us.
How do you sum up a man like Dr. Jerry Buss? A visionary, an innovator, a leader, a loving father, a risk taker, a mentor, a champion, an everyman. What do you say to a man that brought so much joy into all of our lives? Whose leadership brought us championship after championship, banners, rings, and parades.
Hey, look at this!
This is a man who loved this city, and we loved him back. Tonight, I speak for all of us who ever put on the jersey, worked for the franchise, or cheered on the purple and gold when I say, Dr. Buss, we miss you, and we love you.
It really is the end of an era in that.
Where was that from? That was pretty
Spectrum
cool.
aired it.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
That's
it was
cool.
a tribute they aired on Spectrum Sportsnet. There never will be another Jerry Buss in Los Angeles. It was
Ever.
like the right place at the right time. And although, and I've done a little deep dive on this, Beto, since the announcement came last Wednesday. Jeannie's going to run the team for a while.
Is she, though?
Yeah, I think so. I firmly believe that the difference between what happened in Dallas with Mark Cuban, and that was the question I was asking when the sale came down. How do we know they're not just saying that? Is that I don't have it 100% confirmed, but I'm pretty sure it was written into the deal.
Well, I don't think the Guggenheim Group is going to just oust her out of nowhere.
And Mark Cuban could not get it written into the deal.
Okay.
So Jeannie is going to be the governor for the foreseeable future. Now, I don't know how long that will be. I don't know if it'll be 1 year, 3 years, 5 years.
Why would she still want to be involved?
Because
you became a billionaire and liquid billionaire. Why?
It's where her passion is. It's where her heart is. I mean, and I think she wants to take care of the people that she put in place here.
Yeah, but all those years, she went from the intern, the LA Strings, LA Lasers, the indoor soccer team. She's done everything for the organization and the family. And when you get to that era, this age where I am a billionaire on paper, one thing. I'm now a billionaire in liquid where I can count the money, hold the money. Again, she's not going to be doing the day-to-day, everything hard that she's been doing. But why not just ride off in the sunset and enjoy it? Go see the world.
I think it's because I don't know, I haven't talked to her yet, but my guess would be it's the only job she's ever had.
True. It's her identity.
And I think she wants to, rather than like cut it out of her life cold turkey, she wants to make sure that the thing that she built maintains a certain level that she's used to.
Okay.
I think that if she just walked away and said, I'm out, I think that could be like a bucket of cold water to her is what I would guess.
Yeah, you're essentially quitting the only thing you've ever known since you're a little girl.
But I've talked to some of her top people too, and the Lakers are on the reason why the Lakers haven't said anything and why Mark Walter hasn't said anything is because the deal's not finalized.
Yeah, of course.
So nobody's really talking.
If you were her, would you stay on as governor or would you have left? You become a billionaire.
Am I still in charge of basketball decisions?
No. You're in charge of business decisions.
But I'm in charge of all the things I was in charge of last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would.
You would stay?
For a year or two, yeah. I would.
A year or two? Just to help the transition?
Yeah. And, just to kind of show the new guys, what's going on. I care about the Lakers as a brand, and I want to make sure the brand's taken care of. And
is that more what it is?
Yeah, I think I would. But it's let's see. I'm confident she's going to stay. I just don't know how long.
Yeah.
That's the one thing.
Like what role? Okay, there's so many things that she's involved with, not just the basketball side, the business side, the partnership side, making sure everything's at the training facility. There's just so many. I'm like, you give me $1 billion, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Delete me.
Yeah, could be. All right, here's one more that I'm going to play for you. Jared Goff is one of the featured quarterbacks in the new Netflix quarterback show. Did you watch it last year? It was really good.
Some of it.
Yeah, this year Goff's in there. Kirk Cousins is in it again.
Goff, Cousins, and who else?
There's a bunch of people in it. Who else, Laura?
Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
Are they interesting?
Yeah, the trailer looks really good.
The trailer looks real. I don't like to watch these shows, but I saw the trailer and I'm like, damn, I'm going to watch
Yeah,
it.
here's Jared Goff in the trailer. This is just 30 seconds of Goff and what this might sound and look like.
I feel so lucky to be the quarterback. You have to be that guy that your teammates are relying on.
We don't let anybody decide this game but us.
Our expectations internally are to win a Super Bowl.
Does that make you nervous?
No.
Makes me a little nervous.
It'll be fun. A lot of people in my former organization may have thought I was being cast away, but I saw an opportunity I had here. It was special.
I'd love to be the quarterback of this offense. It's just so much fun.
Yeah, too bad, Tom. You're retired. This is what it feels like to truly be wanted. That's my quarterback.
Let's go, baby!
What do you think?
I always liked those kind of shows. Last year, I started watching it and just didn't finish it.
Yeah.
And some of these quarterbacks can be boring. And they're supposed to be, right? They're supposed to be the CEO of the organization. They're supposed to be the non-controversial kind of guy. So I like the receiver one when Devontae Adams was in there because they were talking their junk, especially with the Raiders were so bad what was going on. Burrow, I can see him being a little swaggy because he does have those suits that he comes out with. Goff, I'm surprised he talked this much because he's never really been a guy that has you thinking, oh, what did Jared Goff kind of say?
Have you ever seen Jared Goff's wife?
No.
That might be reason enough to watch this show.
Oh, gee.
She is a.
All right. Is it safe to Google?
Yeah. She's a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model named Kristen Harper, and she's in this show a lot. So they took full advantage.
Good to be a quarterback
of her celebrity. Yeah. All right. When we come back,
560,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah. She's quite popular. Brian, do you have a gas or an electric car?
Gas car, baby.
Laura?
Gas, but I might
Beto?
switch.
Truck.
Yep.
Gas powered?
Yeah.
Me too. We all might be forced to reconsider if
Well,
we're
you
going
get
to
the
live
big
in
old thing, right?
California, and I'm
Yeah.
going to explain why next. Game of Games coming up in about 15 minutes. Mason and Ireland, ESPN LA.
And reaction today on ESPN, NBA Today, a post-Game 7 edition hosted by our very own George Sedano. Be sure to watch Sedano starting at noon on ESPN and, of course, on ESPN+. And then hear George's reaction today at 3 o'clock. Sedano and Cap on 710 ESPN and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Winning matters, especially after an accident. At calljacob.com, we're here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to calljacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. Do you really think you've experienced real sports excitement in your home? It's Mace here, and I'm here to tell you to get off your couch and get into Cosm. Cosm is the ultimate immersive fan experience. The Dome at Cosm, massive 87-foot wraparound display with reserved booth-style seating. The Cosm Hall features wall-to-wall screens where you can watch multiple games at the same time. Incredible food, craft cocktails, beer available throughout Cosm. Go to Cosm.com to see all the sporting events coming up and now showing The Matrix at Cosm.com.
All right, we got a caller who says, I need to buy a car and I need to save money. Well, my friend, I've got one answer for you. The Cerritos Auto Square. It's America's largest auto mall. 24 dealerships, all the top brands, all in one easy location, right here in SoCal. And here's the secret. These dealers sell more cars than anyone because they have low prices. And they can actually afford low prices because they sell so many cars. Check it out at CerritosAutosquare.com.
Cerritos Auto Square.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text STAPLE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text STAPLE to 321-321. That's STAPLE to 321-321.
And it is Mason and Ireland, your Monday afternoon. A Michelob Ultra Reaction Monday, all over Game 7 of the NBA Finals. You heard it here on 710 and the all-new ESPN LA app. The Thunder beat the Pacers in 7 games. We're reacting. Michelob Ultra, a refreshing and balanced flavor with only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Please enjoy responsibly. Mason and Ireland with Beto sitting in for Mace continues now on 710 ESPN and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
All right, Mason and Ireland, and we just determined that all 4 of us, Beto, Laura, Brian, me, we all drive gas-powered cars.
Yep. You have the big truck too, right?
I have a Cadillac Escalade.
Big bad boy.
I thought you had a Navigator.
I did, and I ran that thing into the ground. I finally had to give it up 230,000 miles on it.
That was a beautiful car, man.
Yeah, that thing was awesome.
Yeah. You had the TV on top back in the day?
Yeah, back in the day. I don't need it anymore.
No.
Now you can get everything on your phone. All right, starting July 1st, which is in 8 days. Today is June 23rd. Are you guys aware of this? Gas in California will go up around 65 cents per gallon due to a new environmental rule under the low carbon fuel standard. At the same time, the state is raising its excise gas tax by 1.6 cents, making the total increase about 67 cents per gallon. Lawmakers tried to block the hike, but failed. Critics say this could push gas prices close to $8 per gallon by next year. Wow. $8 per gallon. So, Beto, I filled up yesterday. I paid around $5. It was over $100 to fill my tank.
Yep.
If it goes
I
to
filled up this morning for 84.
Okay. If it goes to 8, then we're looking at more like 150, 175 to fill up your tank. How high would it have to get to before you bail on your gas car and go electric?
See, the thing with me is my car's already paid off.
Me too.
That's
Mine
what it is.
too.
I have to buy a car next year because my daughter is going to start driving. Like my son, because he's away at college, he has a little bucket from 20 years ago. But my daughter's going to start driving, so I'm going to give her my truck. So I have to buy a car. And I was looking into the electric ones just to begin with, because here at LA Live, they have so many different parking spots. It's easier to get a better parking spot if you have a electric car than it is if you have a regular car. But dang, $8?
Brian, how high would it have to go for you to bail on your gas-powered car?
It's getting to that point right there.
I am too.
Because you have a commute too.
Yes, I drive about 25 mile-ish.
So how often do you fill your gas tank up? Like once a week?
Once a week, yeah, and it's around $80 to fill the tank.
Laura,
it's a lot.
Well, I pay a lot of rent to live really close to here, so.
You don't drive that much, then?
I don't. I only.
Do you walk to work?
No, I wanted to, but then I don't want to come sweating. But that's a whole other thing. Yeah. Anyways, probably around that price. I've looked into electric cars because I wanted one. My car's paid off. But I'm like, you know what? It's going to that point. I'm just going to. It's expensive. Like when you start looking at those cars, they are not cheap. But here, I think you can charge them for free at LA Live.
Used Prius is expensive. I looked into it. Like, whoa, really? Because everybody's doing that. But then it's every summer, right? We get scared into say, hey, gas prices are going up, especially working in TV news. And then come fall, prices went down because we're traveling more in the summer. I'm always like, who has money to go travel in the summer? Who goes on vacations besides Mason? Who has an electric car, right?
Yeah, I think he has a hybrid, doesn't he?
A Elantra, I believe.
Yeah.
Man, Mark Cates, can I get a deal? Come on, Casey, let's get us all electric cars.
I've never looked into an electric car because I've always thought they're too expensive, but this would make it worth it.
Why do you have such a big car?
I have a lot of stuff. I drive to Idaho occasionally.
Oh, okay.
And I gave up my big car for 2 years right around COVID, and I hated it.
Yeah.
Hated a small car, so I'm back to a big car.
So when I drive my son's little Civic, I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Really?
I can't because I have a Tacoma, so I feel good in the truck.
Right, you're like me. You're like sitting up high.
I've always had like SUV or something like that.
So I used to have my dad used to have a Silverado heavy duty lifted, and I love that thing. Guys used to hate seeing me on that thing. Then I went to a car, and it feels so weird to go back to a truck. Like I feel out of place.
Well, one thing that'll get us all to bail out of these cars is if they keep hiking the gas prices, because then they're going to leave us no choice.
All kinds of stuff.
All right, so before we get to Game of Games,
what did you drive in Idaho?
A Kia Telluride.
Okay, that's a good
we got it.
SUV.
Yeah, we got it last year because it was affordable, and we just putz around in that. So, do you know who Matt Pino is?
Yeah, Thunder's play-by-play for radio, right?
Right.
He used to be the Clippers guy.
Right.
Yeah.
So Matt got to call his first championship last night. I haven't heard this. I always wonder what it sounds like when a guy gets to call it for the first time. Here's Matt's final call of the Thunder winning their first ever title in Oklahoma City. Remember, they used to be in Seattle, and they won one there. This is their first title in Oklahoma. Here's what it sounded like on Thunder Radio.
Thunder fans, feel this moment. The uncommon young team proves to be unstoppable. It's over at Paycom Center. Final in Game 7, the Thunder 103, the Pacers 91. A dream realized. The storybook season is complete. The final chapter reads, the Oklahoma City Thunder are the 2025 NBA champions. Loud City, party hardy. Your Thunder undeniably the best in basketball in 24-25, storming through the league with incredible domination, offering an epic season for the ages, and winning an epic NBA Finals for the ages. In Game 7, 103-91, the Pacers, the final to fall, as this monumental moment, 17 seasons in the making. OKC has seen it through to wear the crown. Treasure this. Cherish this. The Oklahoma City Thunder are the 2025 NBA champions.
Good for them.
Yeah, good for him. He's been around a long time.
Yeah, and like me, I used to call Clipper games too. You don't get to call a lot of wins when you're doing the Clippers.
No. I did a Clipper talk with him, and it was like, wow, this guy's working.
Yeah,
I've been going some bad OKC teams also.
Yeah, I've been going on history. He does a show in Oklahoma one night a week, and I go on it a lot. And I've been telling him, I go, your team's really good. You're going to have a chance soon. I didn't know it was going to be this soon.
I always like it when announcers that have been with the team for a lot of years get an opportunity.
Well, Mark Boyle, the Pacer announcer, had been there for like 35 years.
Never seen it.
Yeah, good for him. I was happy for both those guys. All right, coming up next game of games, it's my game today. And it has to do with the upcoming NBA draft, which starts on Wednesday. We'll do it next. Mason and Ireland, Beto in for Mace, ESPN LA.
A Michelob Ultra Reaction Monday.
The first title of the OKC era is complete. One of the youngest rosters in recent memory has just completed one of the finest seasons in NBA history.
On 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app, plus on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles, we are reacting to the Oklahoma City Thunder's win in 7 games over the Indiana Pacers. Thanks to Michelob Ultra, a refreshing and balanced flavor with only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Please enjoy responsibly.
The NBA, the draft, free agency, the offseason, every moment of what the purple and gold do on the biggest offseason in history. We have your dose of what's next for the Lakers, thanks to Pro Baller, the official energy drink of the Los Angeles Lakers.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. We are ranked number 18 in the nation and number 1 in Orange County for orthopedic and spine care by U.S. News & World Report. From the surf to the green, our world-class doctors are there, which is why more Californians choose Hoag Orthopedic Institute for orthopedic and spine care more than any other hospital. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there is no one better at getting you back to you. Proudly founded by premier physicians in partnership with Hoag. Learn more at HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com.
Don't navigate the legal system alone. Hey, it's Travis. At the personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand, they will fight tirelessly to get you the max compensation you deserve. Joe and his team understand the emotional and financial toll that an injury can take on you and your life. Call 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand have helped thousands of people like you recover millions of dollars in settlements and verdicts. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. Your recovery is their priority.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
710 ESPN.
And it is time for Game of Games on the #1 sports radio show in LA, Mason and Ireland.
Game of Games.
Game of Games presented by CallJacob.com.
Call Jacob.
Everyone loves a fighter, but in this town, winning matters, especially after an accident. So remember, anyone can fight, but CallJacob.com is here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to CallJacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. We got the jingle.
Call Jacob.
Thank you. Game of Games time. Take it away, Mace.
All right, no Mace today. Better Durant in for Mason, and it's time for Game of Games. Laura, what's the game of games standings for the month?
You love this because you're leading. You have 5. Mason has 3. Brian has 3. I have 2. Parker and Marcus Grant have 1 apiece.
Right, and speaking of Parker Bell from our social media side is going to play. And we understand not just game of games. You are now green-lighted to play in the softball game.
We shall see. We
All right.
shall see. There's still some stuff we got to work around, with the big bosses, but we're hoping maybe we'll get some play time from Parker. Let Parker play.
Let Parker play. Let him love. We still can't get him on Love Island, but we're trying. All right. So 4 players: Brian Cohen, Laura Romo, Beto Duran, and Parker Bell. The NBA season is over, and now we look ahead to the draft. Wednesday and Thursday is the NBA draft. So this is a quiz about the draft. It's all multiple choice. Here we go.
Oh.
Question 1. We often talk about how Michael Thompson was the number 1 pick of the 1978 NBA draft by the Portland Trail Blazers. The Lakers had several picks in that draft and used one of those to take a player who ended up being part of the Showtime Lakers with Michael. Who was that player? A, Michael Cooper, B, Kurt Rambis, or C, Mitch Kupchak? Brian Cohen, Coop, Rambis, or Kupchak?
I'll go Cooper.
Okay, Laura.
I'm also going Cooper.
Beto.
Kupchak.
Parker.
And in the 6th round, Michael Cooper.
Michael Cooper, you knew. Yeah, wow. All right, so everybody on the board but Beto.
Paul Noah.
All right, here we go. I mentioned Michael was the number 1 pick in 78. Laura, who was the number 1 overall pick in the next season, 1979? A, Kent Benson, B, Magic Johnson, C, Kevin McHale. Benson, Johnson, or McHale?
I don't know, but I'll go C.
McHale. All right, Beto.
McHale.
Parker.
McHale?
Brian.
McHale?
You're all idiots.
Magic, damn it.
Magic Johnson was the number 1 pick of the 1979 draft.
79?
Yeah, remember he played Larry Bird in the championship game, and then he was the number 1 pick.
I thought it was 80.
I thought it was 80.
Nope, 79. Remember in 80, Magic led the Lakers to the NBA title.
I was 2.
All right.
I wasn't even thought of.
Question 3, Beto, this one coming to you. The Lakers used the number 1 overall pick in 1982 to take my guy, big game James Worthy.
The Worthy Splash.
Another Hall of Famer was taken 2 picks later in that draft, 3rd overall. Who was it? A, Clyde Drexler, B, Ralph Sampson, C, Dominique Wilkins. Drexler, Sampson, or Wilkins, Beto?
Sampson.
Parker.
I'll go Silk, Sampson as well.
Brian.
Drexler.
Laura.
The one they didn't pick.
Dominique. Laura, glad you did. Dominique Wilkins was the 3rd pick in that draft, and Laura has the lead.
I told you guys. This
Not for long.
All right, Parker, this one coming to you.
Okay.
The 84 draft is considered to be maybe the greatest of all time. Hakeem Olajuwon went first.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan went 3rd. What other Hall of Famer went 5th in that draft? A, John Stockton, B, Charles Barkley, C, Chris Mullin. Stockton, Barkley, or Mullin? Parker.
Barkley.
You're going Sir Charles. Brian.
Mullin.
Laura.
The other one they didn't pick.
You're going Stockton.
Yes.
Beto.
Mullin.
The answer. Charles Barkley. And Parker Bell has tied Laura.
Let Parker win.
Did you know, or was that a guess?
Shout out to Air.
Oh, the movie Air.
Movie, I think, with the whole shoe. Yeah.
Tell you that one. All right, Brian, this one back to you. The 1996 draft featured 4 Hall of Famers among the first 15 picks. Allen Iverson, Ray Allen, Steve Nash, and Kobe Bryant. What number pick was Kobe taken with in that draft? A, 13th, B, 14th, C, 15th. 13th, 14th, or 15th?
13.
13. Laura.
13th.
Beto.
13.
Parker.
With the crowd.
Everybody got it, which means Beto's on the board, and he is now unable to assume the Ireland, which is the last person
is it Ireland now?
that missed every one in a game.
How dare you?
Here we go. Laura, this one to you.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4 left, and a tiebreaker. Laura, there were 3 Hall of Famers in the 1998 draft. Vince Carter, Dirk Nowitzki, and Paul Pierce. Which one of those players was drafted the highest with the 5th overall pick?
Oh.
Carter, Nowitzki, or Pierce? Which one of those guys was drafted the highest?
I am gonna go Carter.
Okay, Beto.
Dirk.
Parker.
I had Dirk as well.
Brian.
I think it is Dirk.
It's Carter, and Laura has opened up a commanding 4-3 lead over Parker. Brian has 2.
Come on, Parker.
And Beto has 1. Beto, there are only 3 left, which means you have to go opposite of Laura.
Easy work. Easy work. Which one did I not go with?
Right, exactly.
1, 2,
Good work,
3.
Shohei.
All right, here we go.
B.
Laura, you have to go first now because you
Okay.
have the lead. In 1999, 3 famous ex-Clippers were all taken in the first 5 picks. Which one of them was taken first? A. Elton Brand, B. Baron Davis, C. Lamar Odom. Brand, Davis, or Odom, Laura.
I really don't know. I'm going to go Odom.
You're going Odom. Beto.
Baron.
Baron Davis. Parker.
Let's make our move. Let's go Elton.
Elton Brand. Brian.
Elton Brand.
Elton Brand is the correct answer, and we are tied. Parker with 4, Laura with 4, Brian with 3. Beto, you're
Terrible.
out. Yeah.
Darn.
But you did get 1 right.
All right, boys, have a good show.
Parker, you have to go first. 2 left. Lakers coach J.J. Redick was taken by Orlando with the 11th pick in his draft. Who did the Lakers take with their first-round pick in that draft? Sasha Vujacic, Shannon Brown, or Jordan Farmar? Vujacic, Brown, or Farmar? By the way, all former first-round picks, so this is not easy. Which one you want?
And there's no year on this one? It's just
I can give you the year. I think it was like 20. Better look it up for me. The year that J.J. Redick was drafted. I want to say it happened around 07, but I'm guessing.
J.J. Redick was...
Was it
2006.
Yeah, I was going to say
All right,
when I
06.
graduated.
He was the whatever pick.
He was the 11th pick. Parker, do you want Sasha, Shannon Brown, or Jordan Farmar?
I'm going to go with Farmar.
Okay. Laura.
I'm going with Brown.
Brian.
Good answer. Good answer.
I'll take Sasha.
Good answer. Good answer. Good answer.
The correct answer, Jordan Farmar, and Parker has the lead.
Good answer. Good
with
answer.
1 to go. You get this right, Parker,
Come
and you
on,
win it.
Parker.
Here we go.
All right. The Lakers took Lonzo Ball with the 2nd pick in the 2017 draft. Who was the first pick in that draft? A. Markelle Fultz, B. Jason Tatum, C. Ben Simmons. Who was it?
Come on, Parker. Want me to pull it up?
Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
All right. That means,
why?
Laura,
No, not
you
that
need to
answer.
take Markelle Fultz or Ben Simmons. Which one do you want?
Sure, I'll take Simmons.
No,
and
not
then,
that one.
Brian?
Fultz.
No, not that one.
The answer is Fultz, but that doesn't give you enough. Parker
Parker!
wins. Laura, you had him. All you
Could
had
have
to
done
do
it.
was guess
I
right.
gave you I looked at you. I gave it to you so we could have a tiebreaker.
All right.
Oh, I'm horrible at those, bro.
All right, well,
I
here's
was
one.
there.
Here's one in honor of you then. Tiebreaker. The draft's been going on since the 1950s. How many times in their team history have the Lakers had the number 1 overall
Ooh.
pick? Okay, number 1 overall pick. All right, and by the way, it had to be made by the Lakers. For example, Shaq was the number 1 overall pick, but not by the Lakers. AD was the number 1 overall
okay,
pick,
yeah,
but not by the Lakers. The Lakers had to have made the pick. Beto, how many times in the history of the draft did the Lakers pick number 1 overall?
Once.
Okay, Parker.
Well, I'll just say twice.
Okay, Laura.
I had 4.
Brian.
3 times.
3 is the winner.
Yeah.
3.
Elgin Baylor, Magic Johnson, James Worthy. But what's confusing is they've had a ton of
Seconds.
number 1 overall picks end up on their roster. One of the teams Michael played on had Michael, Kareem, Magic, Worthy, Bob McAdoo, all on the same team. But there have only been 3 picks actually made by the Lakers in the number 1 spot. It is...
Elgin had to be like in the 50s or something. Right?
59.
Okay.
And then Magic in 79 and Worthy in 82.
82, that's
and those are the 3. Parker, congratulations.
Thank you.
Starting tomorrow, folks, these all count for 2. So
Whose game is it tomorrow?
Trudell. He's coming in to pinch hit. He'll be in your chair.
And he's doing the game?
And he's doing the game.
Oh, it's going to be a Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah, it
and
could be.
Tupac.
Could be a rap game. All right, and when we go, Laura, who's doing Sedano and Cap today?
Sedano and Cap.
They're both back.
Yeah.
All right, okay, so true story. Over the weekend, I went to a wedding. A great wedding. Really better. You know, I've always talked about I had a 7-foot kid living across the street from me. He got married this weekend. Jimbo Lowe married a girl named Tristan Savage. Killer wedding. Great time. They got married in Camarillo at Spanish Hills.
Oh, beautiful course.
Awesome course. Great setup. So we stayed. We knew we were going to drink a lot at this wedding. So we stayed in a hotel a couple miles from Spanish Hills. I stayed at a Hilton Garden Inn, literally could see the freeway from my window. Cars buzzing by, all right?
Just you're passed out drunk, stay there and leave.
I get a text. I've been there for 15 minutes watching cars. Get a text from Cappy. Greetings from Terranea. It's great. I'm like,
wait, Cappy was at Terranea?
Yeah, I wrote back. You win.
We, as the social team, somebody on the social team sniped Cappy from Terranea, so we have a picture of him in his natural habitat.
No.
Wait, you guys drove down there just to take a picture?
Somebody was there. He doesn't mind. Carlo was there.
Beautiful.
And just happened to run into Cappy, and maybe they'll get into it.
Could have told me. My bartender would have took care of him.
And
Jose would have been the man.
We'll talk to Sedano. I'm pretty sure Sedano was at the game last night and hosted NBA today. So he either flew private or he got up super early this morning. We'll get the answers to that, too.
Hardworking kid.
Game and Games brought to you by Jacob and Ronnie. Everyone loves a fighter, but in this town, winning matters, especially after an accident. So remember, anyone can fight, but Jacob is here for you. When you need a big win after an accident, go to calljacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. Sedano and Cap join for Super Crosstalk next, ESPN LA.
Sedano and Cap.
Cappy, be honest. You were not happy.
I was very unhappy.
We don't love an unhappy Cappy.
No, you want a happy Cappy.
Don't miss Sedano and Cap every weekday at 3 p.m.
on 710 ESPN.
This is an ad by BetterHelp.
With over 35,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Talk it out with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month of therapy at BetterHelp.com/timeout. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout. Hey guys, have you checked out the all-new Park West Bicycle Casino? Just 9 miles from downtown LA and near the 710 freeway, it's completely reimagined with new ownership, renovations, and upgraded amenities. We're also home to California's largest card room jackpot ever, $3.7 million. New players score $30 in match play when they say, Cappy sent me. Park West Bicycle Casino, come see what everyone's talking about.
Please gamble responsibly. Problemgambling.ca.gov. 1-800-GAMBLER. R001291. GAR 001292. PSIS license number 1358.
Hey, baseball fans, ready to swing for the fences? It's ESPN LA's Legends Launch, presented by our friends at Legends Attic. Part of All-Star Friday night, step up to the plate and take your shot at launching as many baseballs as you can into the home run zone. Spots are limited, so grab your bat and go to ESPNLA.com right now to sign up. Bring the heat and showcase your legendary swing at our All-Star Friday night event on July 11th at West Covina Sportsplex. Reserve your spot now thanks to Legends Attic, the ultimate sports fan's dream destination.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the
shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Sedano and Cap to join Mason and Ireland?
Super Crosstalk begins.
Super Crosstalk, presented by Coors Light. Coors Light, made to chill.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
All right, no Mace today, but George Sedano has found the studio. I'm not sure he's actually awake, even though his eyes are open. Cap, do we have Cappy?
Love Boat.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Whoa.
You know, he doesn't like doing Love Boat unless Mason does the woo, 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 woo.
Okay.
But Cap,
Woo,
Cappy, I just told the story that when I was in my room at the Hilton Garden Inn looking at the 101 freeway, I got a text from you that you had descended on Terranea,
Right.
and I wrote back a 2-word text. You win.
Yep.
How was it?
John, I'm going to tell you something. I've heard you say for years that Terranea is like going to Hawaii without getting on an airplane.
Correct.
And I always thought that was really great for radio advertising. Could not have been more accurate. You were so right on. Because when you, George, what's the name of the road that you and I, Beto, you, me, and DeMarco, we parked right there when we were going down to the beach to play pickleball. What's that road that Terranea?
PB Drive.
Okay. I drove that road, and when we turned into Terranea, John, that is like leaving the main highway in Hawaii and driving down.
It's unbelievable.
And I was there for only like 48 hours, but I must tell you, freaking world class.
All right,
so I forgot you were going, Cappy. You didn't tell me,
Beto,
because the bartender Jose would have took care of you.
I think they took care of him anyway.
Oh, they took good care of me, but I will just say this, Beto, it would have been nice to have known a bartender.
Yeah, Jose.
Because let me tell you
big
something.
Listener.
It's
all
a
the bartenders there listen to the station.
Well, let me tell you something. They were so sweet. Everybody who was there was working. Everybody was great. Saturday we hit the adult pool, John.
Yeah.
And just
Love that pool.
Partied all day with a DJ, which was great. Oh, by the way, the USC coaching staff was there all weekend recruiting the 2026 class. So it was kind of cool hanging out and getting to meet a bunch of those guys too. It was just, I can't say enough.
Now, that was on one hand. Scott Kaplan enjoying the high life at Terranea.
Mm-hmm.
George Sedano was at Game 7.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine that you covered the post game, right? And then what time did you get up this morning?
About 6.
And what time did you go to sleep last night?
About 2.
I've done that twice.
Yeah.
Where one year, Trudell stayed up all night and almost missed the bus. We almost left him in Orlando.
Wow.
I remember that. I was with him.
Yeah, remember that?
No, I don't want to.
Yeah, remember? And I called him 17 times.
Yes.
And he finally, on the 17th time, answered. I go, the
Him
bus.
and Ty and everybody else.
I said, the bus is literally leaving in 3 minutes. Without you, I'll do whatever I can. And he goes, I'm on my way.
Just
and he's
threw
running while
everything.
packing his suitcase on the run, and he made it.
That was Lamar
Is that when he
Odom.
looked like a Backstreet Boy?
Yes.
Yeah.
2009. Lamar Odom was singing "We Are the Champions" over and over and over in the room.
So, George, true, were you in the Thunder locker room, or did they do it where you just went to the press room?
No, I was on the court.
Okay, so you stayed on the court.
Yeah.
Because the report I got out of the locker room from somebody was that the Thunder were so young that Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein needed to show them how to open a champagne bottle.
That's true, yes.
Some people think that this is the beginning of a long Thunder title run. I think not so fast.
Well,
7 teams have won. 7 different teams have won the title. And after every year, George, you and I look at each other and go, well, now it's going to have to run through Denver.
Well,
now it's going to have to run through Boston.
This is a little different because they're better positioned than anyone in the new collective bargaining agreement.
Right.
They have everybody under contract. They're all young. Caruso's
great coach, great GM.
Caruso's the old guy.
Yeah.
At 31. And Shea is only 26. The other guys are not even in their primes, and they still have a bazillion picks. They have two first-rounders this year that who knows what they're going to do.
14 in the first round over the next 7 years.
A bunch of guys who are stashed in the G League and overseas
one
that they
of
don't
them,
play.
Beto, who's the one we looked up?
Topic.
That
that
Topic
kid.
is supposed to be like the next Ginobili, and he hasn't even played yet.
Correct. So they are well positioned, but it doesn't mean anything. The Spurs won 5 in 15 years. So, do I think that they are positioned to have a long-term run like that? Maybe. Yeah.
I think the Lakers went 5 and 10. I think Kobe won 5 and 10. or it might have been 11. He won his first one in 2000 and his last one in 2010.
Right.
So yeah, they are pretty well set up.
Because J-Dub has not even scratched the surface of how good he can be, and Holmgren.
He's like, what, 24?
Yeah, and then
If that.
and then Holmgren has made I thought he played very well defensively in this series, but you could tell like he needed to be stronger for offense. And I think that will happen over time, too. And we also forget the guy missed 40 games this year because he broke his freaking hip.
Well, here's the other thing. When Shaq and Kobe won their first title in 2000 and then run it out to 2002, the supporting cast was radically different. And then when Kobe and Pau went to the finals in 08, 9, and 10, they kept changing as long as they keep Chet, J-Dub, and Shea.
Yeah, they've got their nucleus.
They can change those other parts out, and I don't know if they'll be able to pay Lou Dort or Kason
He's under
Wallace.
contract for 2 more years. I mean, Wallace is on a rookie deal, so
But if they do, they just replace him with all these picks they've got.
And all these other guys that they have stashed away. Yeah.
All right, I took a stand today.
Oh,
a stand.
I'm against this ever happening again.
Okay.
I'm pivoting to baseball. Kike Hernandez has pitched for the Dodgers 3 times in the last 8 days.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
It's stupid. It's boring. They eventually have to warm up a real pitcher to get him to bail him out.
Yeah.
Why don't they just get rid of this? Are you guys okay with position players pitching?
Well,
I love
if
it.
it's lopsided.
Why
who
do you
cares?
love it?
Come on, Cap.
No, I do. I love it. It's so Little League. It's so like the origins of baseball. You know, like when
you were a little kid,
right? Like where a kid is playing second base and they're like, "Hey, this kid's not getting it done. Bring the kid over from second and put him up on the mound." I just happen to love it. I love it when position players pitch. I'm always curious to see if guys can actually tee off on them. Like in Kike's case, his delivery is so strange because when he kicks his leg out, he moves so far over to his right. And he's bringing like a whole different speed.
Man,
so
Cappy's breaking down pitching.
Yeah, but
Dude,
Cap,
look at
he's
this.
throwing the ball 38 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I
mean,
know.
Come on.
I know. In fact, when he pitched a couple weeks ago in that blowout loss against San Diego, he came in, he was pitching 51 miles an hour. A friend of mine said to me, he goes, if I had to send you out there right now to pitch, how fast could you pitch? My answer was 70 miles an hour. What's your answer, guys?
I'd be in the 60s, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
So I overestimated with 70.
No,
Yes,
Cappy,
you always
No,
overestimate.
you're younger.
Cappy, I'll give you low 70s.
Yeah, 70?
Like
Two-seamer?
72.
72?
Yeah. On a nice hot day with a good lather going.
Yeah.
But he's
Yeah.
not throwing any breaking balls. He's just
No,
lobbing it up there.
And it's just one.
Right. It's just as fast as I can throw it for
Just
one pitch.
and then your arm falls off.
But Johnny I, why are you giving up on position players pitching? It's so rare.
Because, here, I'll play you a little bit. Here's John Smoltz talking about it, and I agree with everything he says.
I think it's the most embarrassing thing, anything you can do in sport, with the reality of all the smart people thinking pitching, bullpenning, and we've had more position players pitch in baseball games than ever before. And what does that tell you? And it's the most embarrassing thing I think there is. I think every once in a while you can say it's
All right, pot that down, DeAndre. Yeah, I just think he's right. I think it's just it's an entertainment product that's not entertaining. It's stupid. Get rid of it. Why do we have it?
I don't know. I actually find it
But
entertaining.
I mean, it's in lopsided situations, you're just saving arms.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah,
But like Eric Harris said over the weekend when he was doing the Dodger game, if you fall behind, you should have to wear that. You're the one that dug the 10-run deficit.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you get to save arms? Put a pitcher in. I think you designate certain guys before every game. These are eligible 13 pitchers, and one of them has to pitch. I mean, we're going out there to watch professional baseball players. This isn't professional. This is a beer league softball game that's broken out at Dodger Stadium. Get rid of him.
Yeah, I think this is much ado about nothing. I literally couldn't care one iota about who pitches in a game in a blowout.
Oh, no way. I actually care more, though. Johnny I. Johnny I love that you've decided I'm taking a stand. That's it. I'm taking a stand.
I just don't have the bandwidth to care that
I'm
much.
with Smoltz. I'm with Karros.
I am.
I'm embarrassed for these guys. Designate 13. That should be the rule. I love the fact that you're this passionate about it.
You heard that, Cappy.
Well,
Yeah, I
Cap,
love it.
If you go to a Laker game and it's a 40-point blowout, and they put me and Sedano in the game because they don't want to be.
But they're putting guys who don't play.
Right. You and me, we don't play.
No. I Bronny and those guys play in those situations.
I want Bronny to play.
But those are professional players.
Yeah, you want Bronny to
Right,
start.
but some
Yes,
of
I do.
them are borderline professional players. They're two-way players.
And Smoltz said this. Can you imagine if the situation was reversed, if a game was a blowout and you didn't want to burn any of your hitters and you just sent your entire pitching staff up to hit?
That'd be great.
It'd be awful.
That'd be awesome.
What are you
Alex
talking about?
Vesia, swing and a miss. Let's
Yeah, you just want to see 19 different strikeouts?
I just want to see interesting stuff happen. And when Kike pitches, I look at the hitter and I go, he's just saw a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Now he's about to see a 62-mile-an-hour fastball. How's he going to handle that? And once you see a guy like Kike come in, as a hitter, you're like, oh, I'm taking this guy deep. And then you take him deep to the warning track because there wasn't enough speed on the pitch. So I don't have this problem with position players pitching. In fact, I kind of like it.
Cappy, are you on vacation this week?
Later this week. Yes, I am.
Starting Wednesday, right?
Yes, sir.
Where are you going?
Well, this first part of the week, I'm not excited to say that I'm going on vacation. I'm going to Philadelphia.
For what reason?
I have some business meetings that I have to take in Philly, including a sports business conference that I'm going to.
I have been to Philadelphia in June.
Why? What's that? What's that, Beto?
Terrible, because you're Philly in June.
Philly in June is awful.
There's a massive heat wave going on right now on the East Coast.
That's what it was when I was there for the finals, the Iverson versus Kobe final.
Nasty, right?
It was 99 degrees with 97% humidity.
There's a part of me that's wondering, could I possibly squirm out of this between now and Wednesday?
No, your curls are going to be off. Oof.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
going to be like Will Ferrell in that commercial. Your curls are going to just get faded.
I'll have the perfect perm.
See, he's going to a sports business deal. He's going to go close. He's going to go sell.
He's going to Hey King a bunch of stuff and make a bunch of money.
And he's going to forget
By
about
the way,
it.
of the 4 restaurants I told you about at Terranea Cap, how many did you hit?
I think I hit 2 of them. I think I went to Nelson's.
The sports bar?
Nelson's is the sports bar.
Yeah.
Very good, right on the water.
Really good. And then I did the sushi place. I think it's called
Bashi.
Yeah,
so both good choices. Yeah,
really good, really good.
You have any
and
sake? Any sake?
No, we were Beto, we were on the juice all weekend long, man. Seriously, I cannot drink with my own girlfriend. I mean, she drank me right under the table, no doubt about it. But we. Late at night, Beto, I wish I would have known about your boys, the bartenders, because I was in the hotel lobby bar both nights.
Oh, there's a dude there who has a St. Louis Cardinals tattoo, and he loves when DeMarco goes in there. Oh, yeah.
It's a great place,
Yeah.
John. It is a great place.
Oh, it's the best kept secret in Los Angeles.
Yeah, in fact, Rachel's like, how'd you hear about this place? And I didn't want to tell her too much. I didn't want to tell her that you've been, telling us about it on radio forever. But she's like, I've never heard of this place. Oh, by the way, George, we walked up to the lighthouse. On the peninsula there, and just got a whole history lesson of the Palos Verdes Peninsula.
Here's the difference
awesome.
between Cappy and John and Lisa Ireland. He walked up to the lighthouse. We rented electric bikes and throttled up to the lighthouse and then throttled back.
Cappy, so you're moving to that area, huh?
Well, I don't know. The whole
Riley lives up there.
What's the slide though?
Don't worry about that.
Where they lose electricity up on the hill.
That's
That's actually way down by. It's actually in the older part of town by
don't worry
San
about
Pedro.
that.
No, the part of town you were in, Cap, is if you can afford it, you'd love to live there.
What's that called, George? The Portuguese
Bend.
Bend, yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about that. It's just that one little neighborhood. So you,
Okay.
Lincoln Riley, Pete Carroll, I can see this happening.
Listen, Lincoln Riley, I'm telling you, I didn't see him around Terranea, but all of his coaches were there. I met Danton Lynn over
Great
the
guy.
weekend. Yeah. Just had a brief interaction with him, but it was great to see all those USC coaches. They were out there working hard recruiting.
Yeah, last time I was at Terranea, I saw Lincoln Riley. I just walked right up to him and said,